diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. Jet, we Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. It's apparent these girls staring. I'm Rick flaring, gold across my chest. I'm fresh to death, I'm Paul Bearing, not at all scary. When I open like Betty Wops, they find to these circles that's going in like a carry shot. Woo! I'm going in like a Mary Pop off that Mary Crop at the top flow at the Marriott. So questioning me is like questioning you. See, we the best dressed, so come and get blessed with the crew. Not one but two, different ways to slaughter your crew. Committed tat across the chest, I guess she blessed with the truth. People want to see them checks, representation of proof. Living through my elders, trying to resonate to the youth. But ain't nothing to get my flash on. Longevity is heavily embedded in my melanin. Layman terms, I last long. My grind repetitive, I'm smoother than real silk. Lyrical cash cow, who can't cry over spilled milk. We in here. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. The Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. This ain't no normal situation, this preparation with greatness. Industry full of fakeness, it's really up for the taking. See, life is what happened to you, more so how you take it. Don't get stripped of your knowledge and mentally leave you naked. I like to live otherwise. I'm sorry that I'm fresh to death. I put the polo and apologize. See, black son, we ain't nothing like the mother guys. Quit to socialize, we organize, then we mobilize. Off the deep end like a scuba diver. And no confusion, just keep it pushing like Uber drivers. Woo! Business fresh just like a supervisor in a Gucci visor. Can't find a smoother rhymer. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us. You talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, willing dealing, limo jet flying. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us. We Rick flaring on us, flaring on us.
Yeah, DQ baby. Shout out that boy Nigga for that fire track. Hey, Black Sun, sun up. What's up, Vinny Vegas? What in Vegas? Yeah. Shout out Pharaoh's Kids, D-Phase. Yeah. Bubba C. Yeah. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring on him. Rick flaring, son up, baby.
Hey, yo, Scotty, you going crazy for this one. We see what you're doing, we salute you. Hey, let's get it started. It's backpack, capital one. What's in your wallet? Got a call from my man A. Scott. I said I got it. Love that you highlighting all of these black colleges. Try to pay me for doing this. Look, bruh, if you don't get off my line with that foolishness, voice of the swag, pull up where you at, no cap. If the Brody is speaking the soft facts, my advice, tune in to every show. Captain Petty, but we know that the sergeants are with the smoke. Speculate, just tell me what is we doing. Get into it, okay, look, I'ma say this and keep it moving. My boy Scotty, man, he offered the least. Black grad, paying college, I'm glad that he called me. Walk it, cause we all been taught that talk is cheap. Even primetime knows Scott for the HBCU streets.
What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty. You already know what it is. Back with another one. Listen, I'm gonna just start off. Today is laundry day. If you have a significant other and they like, the kids are off of spring, the kids are back at school, so there's no spring break. So my wife has gathered all the clothes in the house, and this is the only shirt I have left in my drawer. So I want to be very clear why I am wearing this shirt. It is not because I like the 12 fans. It's not because I like the purple. Today is laundry day, and this was the only available shirt that I had in my drawer. So miss me with all the jokes, okay? Miss me with all the jokes. Nobody want to be on here, okay? Nobody want to be on here with no dirty t-shirt or whatever. It ain't worth it, okay? It ain't worth it. It was clean. I ain't never worn it. So I decided to wear it today because it's laundry day. So that's just how I feel. That's just what it is. It's just what it is. So I mean, it itches. I don't like it. I asked Key, I was like, and let me tell you what marriage is like. You want to know what marriage is like? So I asked her on Sunday. I said, hey, babe, when you going to do laundry? She said, oh, I'm going to get it started Monday morning. I said, cool, sweet. Monday morning, my show's at noon. Boom, 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 boom. I grab a shirt out the dryer. No harm, no foul, right? Oh, guess who has a nail appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning? Guess who has a nail appointment at 10 o'clock in the morning? Now, I am not opposed of doing laundry, right? I just don't like folding clothes, but I don't mind washing them, right? I wash clothes and put them in the dryer all day long. That ain't nothing. But oh my God, how did you magically forget that you had a nail appointment at Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning? You said you was going to start laundry. And it's not the principle. It's not like, I don't want no woman to think like, oh, Scotty can't do his own laundry. That's not the point, right? Because I can do my own laundry, right? It was that when I get ready to do a show, I can't be doing 10 things at once. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I can't do this, and then I can't do that, and then I do. So then that's why I be pushing my time back, right? Y'all already know I'll be late. I already be late. So it's like, you got to work with me. So when she told me that, I said, are you serious right now? I said, are you serious right now? Like, you about to go get your nails done? She's like, babe, I told you I was getting my nails done on Monday. Because we're leaving to go to Alabama State either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, right? Because we're going to the Alabama State spring ball game. And we'll talk more about that later on the show. But yeah, so she's trying to get all dolled up for a spring game. Well, we're actually going to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta, we're driving down to Alabama State, but we still going to, hey, Drew buddy! Spring game. So that's what's going on. So that is why I have a Prairie View shirt on. So listen, if you're just getting in here now, because I don't know you ninjas be late, today is laundry day. My wife said she was going to do laundry early this morning. She then proceeded to go get her nails done. That just miraculously, she did tell me, but I just totally forgot it was Monday, but whatever. I just want to be very clear about why I have this shirt on today, because y'all know damn well I don't be rocking no 12 fans, but when this is the only shirt in your drawer, you got to do what you got to do. That just is what it is, all right? Listen, and unlike PV, I do my stuff in an elite way. So if you're looking for an elite coffee to start your morning, unlike Prairie View, listen, go get you some Elite 15 coffee, link in description below. Go get you some. Go get you some Elite 15 coffee, link in the description below. Go get you some. All right? Go get you some of that. And also, still on the road to 300. I think we're at 255. All right, we're at 255. Gotta update this slide. We're at 255 currently. Listen, on the road to 300 Offscript members. We can do it. We can do it. We're going for this Sparta 300. All right, we're going for the 300 members. Listen, in July, we will be doing a giveaway for the members for NCAA. Shout out to my guy Reese, who has purchased the NCAA game, decided to donate it to the channel. We will be giving away NCAA 2024, the new game. All right. I'm still saving up for my PS5. You know, I'm trying to save my little nickels and dimes and pennies, but when you got a wife getting her nails done, you got to take a trip to Alabama State. Look like those pennies are dwindling. Okay, look like those pennies are dwindling. Anyway, so I'm telling you, it's different. All right, make sure we are on the road to 300. All right, we're on the road to 300. Make sure if you haven't become a member, become a member. We greatly appreciate all that. And also, to give an update on the Offscript group March Madness, listen, the tables have completely turned in the bracket. I didn't even know who this Armstrong Addy was. Next thing I know, he's number 1 on the top of the charts. All right, Mr. Levette was leading these battles for like 2 weeks. And then all of us, I think Mr. Levette's like number 9 or number 10. And now Armstrong Addy has jumped up to first place, sole place of first place. Shout out to Armstrong. Remember, it's $200, $100 for me. Reese also donated $100 from himself. Shout out to you, Reese. So it will be a $200 winner takes all bracket. Okay, if there's a tie, then of course, we split it 100-100. But that is what it is. So shout out to Armstrong Addy. He is leading the pack for this Final Four. All right. Legit looked at it, was like, what the I was like, and I was hurting for you, Mr. Levette. I was like, damn. I said, he been leading for like the past week or so. Next thing I know, that Elite Hate happened, and I'm like, dang, like it just flipped on his head. I was like, wow, everybody. Mr. Campbell went from like 20th to like 9th. I'm like, God, dog. I went from like 8th to 23rd. I was like, oh, this for the birds. Yeah, my Elite 8 is all jacked up. I ain't even gonna hold you. My Elite 8 is all jacked up. So, but that is the definition of March Madness. And last but not least, listen. On this channel, we believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, okay? Not Jesus Christ Jr. up at the Colorado Christian Center, okay? We're not talking about him. We don't talk about him, okay? It is the real Jesus Christ, okay? Lord and Savior. So I hope you had a wonderful Easter, Resurrection Sunday. Resurrection Sunday. Hope you all took y'all happy asses to church. Put your best foot forward. Okay, put your best foot forward and got that resurrection Holy Spirit dropped on you on Easter. Okay, don't know if you guys have seen, but me and the family, we Key, had us looking like the Black Brady Bunch out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? That's just how my wife rolls. She is more of a what is it called? My wife is like she's like a coordinator. She likes to coordinate. That's just her thing, right? Like she gonna make it a mission to coordinate. Okay, like that's what she do. Let me pull up this picture so y'all can see how we got down on our Easter Sunday, looking like the Black Brady Bunch. That's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was up to me, everybody would have had different colors on. But look and listen, me being the darkest one of the bunch. You know what I'm saying? So that's the family. Don't look at me because I can't take pictures. I don't know how to. But everybody else takes some great. If you just take my head off of this is like the picture you see in the Walmart frames. Okay, you just take me out. If somebody could just magically erase me from the picture, because I don't know how to take pictures. I don't know how to smile. I'm very awkward as I am. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. Kids looking lovely, wife looking lovely. We all pinked up, Black Brady Bunch. You already know what it is. So shout out to my wife for setting this up. Listen, the funny thing about this story is this, right? The funny thing about this story is I didn't know we were going all pink, right? Like, let me tell you. So I saw the deductions in my car, but I didn't know what was coming to the house, right? Children's place, Target. I'm just seeing all these deductions, and then like it's slowly building up. Like one outfit is pink, my son's shirt is pink. My wife comes in from a Target. She's like, babe, this is so flowy and it's so pink. I'm like, okay. The next thing I know, I get a shirt from Target that's pink. I said, oh, so this is what we doing? This is what we doing for Easter? We the pink. We just gonna pick it up. We pinky. All right, all right. That's all right. Cool. Just that's marriage though. That's marriage. Like I'm telling you, if my wife ever happens, listen, I have the type of wife. Any major holiday event, we matching, right? Like for Christmas, she's like, oh, we need to do matching pajamas. Like I'd be like, okay. And then I try to give her like a hard task with it, right? Like I'll be like, everybody needs to wear the Grinch. One year I did like everybody needs to wear the Grinch, right? She on Amazon, she on Etsy, she on Alibaba. You know, she just looking everywhere to get everybody the same Grinch. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody gotta be on the same. I'm like, yo, this is just crazy. This is just wow. You know, they're like she just loves matching. I'm like, I'm not a big matcher, but that's she gonna make it work, right? And then when you have multiple kids, yes, multiple outfits, because everybody gotta have this. Listen, right? The girls got the same matching shoes, right? My son got the matching shirt with the khakis. You know what I'm saying? I just get in where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? I just get in where I fit in. So she was like, "This what you wearing, right? This what you wearing?" And I'm like, "I guess this is what I'm wearing." So this is what it is. So you just and then you know, my daughters are never gonna wear those white shoes ever again. Never, right? You only wear those, you know, and y'all know what white shoes I'm talking about, them little girly white shoes with I mean, my wife about the stockings that go up to their little belly button, got the stockings up. I'm like, when is Eris ever gonna wear stockings again? Okay, we gonna have to wait a whole nother year, get a whole nother pair of new stockings because she done grew, right? The little white shoes with a little kitten heel at the back of them. You gotta buy a whole new set of it just man, it ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. Okay, so listen, I don't push back. I just ask questions, right? I just be like, do we have to get those? You know, because you can't really push back because she gonna buy it anyway, right? So it's just like you just try to make her feel bad, right? You're like, did we have to get that? I mean, we didn't have white shoes here, you know, like so after after the service, I found these Vans, right? Let me go get them. Okay, so if you can see my daughter, my littlest one, right? Her, that's my smallest one. You see the white shoes? You see the white shoes? So I'm like, we already had these, okay? Like we already had these. Let me see if I can see if it can. Yeah, okay. So we already had these. I'm like, yo, these would have been fly. Right? I'm like, yo, these would have been so clean. We already had them. Somebody already bought them for us. I'm like, why couldn't we just rock these? You know what I'm saying? Look at that. That's nice. So, but no, we went with the little white kitten heel shoes that, you know, you never gonna wear ever again. You know what I'm saying? So, got my daughter's looking like the mother of the church with them stockings. But, you know, but I love the outfits. So the dresses were nice. They were beautiful, you know, and stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is. That's marriage. Okay? I'm just telling you. That's marriage. So if you want to be married, hey Moni! USC UConn! Watch party tonight going down, USC UConn! That girl Juju gonna give you the business! I'm trying to tell you. This one, you know. Right? The pink and white Vans would have killed them. The pink and white Vans would have killed them. All right, would have killed them. So that's what I thought. But once again, you already know what this channel is. We are our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ over here. Once again, not Jesus Christ Jr., who went to Colorado up at the Christian Center. Okay, not him. Talking about Lord Jesus Christ. All right. So hope you guys got some blessings. Hope you guys got some good word. Okay, got some good word. And you know, got some Holy Spirit blessings. I hope y'all, because listen, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know y'all be like, Scotty, get to the show. I'm so sorry. Let me say this. I didn't know. Okay, I'm lying. I knew Easter was a big thing. I did. I really did. I know it's a big thing in Black culture, right? Going to church. Like, if you don't go to church on no other day, you go on Resurrection Sunday, right? You know what I'm saying? If you can't get right with God no other day, get right with Resurrection Sunday. My thing is this. I didn't know how big it was, like, outside of church, right? So I'm at Honey Baked Ham, right? I love ham. If anybody, listen, ham, I love ham. Turkey, ham, all day, every day. So my wife orders a Honey Baked Ham for Easter dinner, right? Easter, Sunday dinner, whatever. Now, mind you, I'm in Ohio. Okay, I'm above the Mason-Dixon line. That's number one. I'm trying to paint the scene for you. I stay in a county that's called Green. It is whiter than snow. Okay, whiter than snow up here. My kids are pretty much like the only Black kids in their class. That's how white they are. They have never experienced that. That's how white it is, right? I'm in Honey Baked Ham. I lie to you not. It is 12 ninjas in Honey Baked Ham. I ain't never seen that many Black people since I've been here. The only other place I didn't see Black people is in Akron at the church that we go to. I ain't never seen that many ninjas at one location since I've been here. 12 ninjas at Honey Baked Ham, waiting to get their ham. I'm like, where y'all been at? You know, I feel like a gathering spot. I was like, hey, where you stay at? You stay around here? Where you been at? Where you stay? That's what I had. That's how I knew how big Easter was, just outside of. That's how I found out. Hey, listen, man. It was a gathering. I felt like I done made it. Hey, if there's only a few places we can congregate at, it's at Honey Baked Ham. You know what I'm saying? At Honey Baked Ham. I said, wow. I said, y'all, where have y'all been? I ain't never met y'all. Y'all got kids? I got Black kids too. Y'all wanna like co-mingle? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all want to find a way that we can set up, spades or something, Black card night or whatever. So, it was just, man. Facts, man. I was so happy to just see some Black people. Oh, man. And I was just so happy, man. I really was. I was like, oh, man, this is such a blessing. This is such a blessing. All right, let's get into today's show, man. Let's get into a little spring ball, because it's what?
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching.
It's there. Spring ball is in effect. Spring ball, April 6th, got the spring games coming down. I said it's what?
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching. Intuition.
I can feel it in the air. It's football, baby. We back.
Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching.
You already know what it is. Football back. Football is back. Listen, spring ball games, spring scrimmages, all that is going on currently. April 6th. You got the big four outside of A&M. You can drop them off, but if you want to put somebody else in there. You got Alabama State, got Jack State, got Alcorn. You got them dogs, Alabama A&M. Spring games going on April 6th. Listen, if I missed the team, I apologize, because I didn't know. It was hard to find some of the spring schedules and stuff like that. Now, come on now. Public service announcement. I will be in the building at Hornet Stadium in Montgomery, Alabama, to see that bad man. Everybody, I'm in the building. And I'm bringing the kids with me. It's a whole family affair. We about to be decked out at Andrew Body Gear. All right, so I'm trying to see what this stadium be like, man. Y'all come on out there, come on through. You already know what it is. And listen, my son and daughter call it Uncle Andrew. You know what I'm saying? So you know who we there to support. You know what I'm saying? You know who we there to support. So trying to, I'm gonna see what we're gonna see what they looking like. We gonna see what they looking like. Now, Zoe, since you in here, I know you are one of the insiders. Are you guys broadcasting your spring game? Let me know. I would like to know if you guys are broadcasting your spring game so we can do some, reviews of other spring games and stuff like that. A&M, I don't know if you guys are broadcasting your spring game or well, but listen, okay. So if anybody has any connection to Alabama State, right? I'm trying to figure out if I can go live after the game at the stadium. Okay? Rocky gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Mr. D gonna be there. Andrew, Mama Body gonna be there. Mr. Body gonna be there. So I would like, if anybody got any connections, I would like to go live from the stadium. Okay. I don't know how many strings he can pull. I need those big time money alums. I need them big time money alums, right? So I'm trying to figure out. I would like to go live at the stadium. Me, Rocky, we just go up there live. Y'all supposed to have all the amenities, suites, and all that type of stuff. Let your boy get a suite for the spring game. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hey, he won't dance. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hey, all right. Listen, and you know what? I'm gonna text Coach Terry. I'm gonna text Coach Terry, see if he can hook something up for me. You know what I'm saying? So, man, we don't want to step on no toes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? My body ain't trying to step on no toes. You know what I'm saying? He just trying to play some football. You know what I'm saying? So just trying to. I'm gonna let my little nephew do. He trying to play football. You know what I'm saying? Our former alumni president is working down there in the big time. Okay, cool. I got you, Mr. Kemp. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Go live with the Rocket Boy. Might do that. I might do that. Right? Oh yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that. Let's talk. Let's talk big business. All right. Let's talk big business. See if I can go live. Probably go live with the wild card crew. That'd be dope. You know what I'm saying? They got my guy Andrew Body there. So, we can make it happen. We should all go live together in the little suite or something like that. That'd be dope. All right. So try to make that happen. So we're going to be there all Saturday. All right. We there all Saturday. So if you know some spots and everything like that, let me know. Got to be family friendly because, it's going to be me and Key and the fam and the kids. All right. So if it ain't family friendly, it ain't going to have us there. So listen, I'm going to be, me, I'm going to be dialed in. I'm going to be taking notes. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to do what we do, but watch our shoes. You know what I'm saying? So if you got any tailgates, you already know, text me, hit me up at this number right here. Let me know where y'all going to be at. And we're going to get it popping. I'm going to be in attendance, man. We're trying to have some good time and have a good fun. All right, let's talk a little bit of free agency. And, oh, boy. Something going on. Tamika Reed has a fit on Resurrection Sunday. She said she was an official free agent. Tamika Reed reportedly becomes a free agent head coach on Easter Sunday. According to Clarion Ledger report, JT Keith Reed signed a contract extension in 2020, which gave her an approximately annual salary of $135,000. Now, listen, I don't believe that Jackson State is just going to let this woman walk out the door. But let's be realistic. If somebody wants her, all right, somebody's going to come get her. And there's nothing, unless she just chooses to go back to Jackson State, there's really nothing you can do about it, right? Because there's only so much they can consider paying her for this said position. And with her resume, You know what I'm saying? It's definitely worth whatever she asking for, but it has to be in the budget, right? So this is my thing. So word on the street, Tamika Reed reportedly interviewed with Tulane University for the Green Waves head coaching position. Now, let me say this. If you do not know who is working at Tulane to have set this up, this is what it means to look out for someone, okay? Gaucher, a former AD at FAMU, right, is currently the assistant AD at Tulane. So if you don't think he went to the new AD and said, hey, listen, I don't know who you looking at, but you got to take a look at this woman right here. And mind you, Tulane just lost their coach who had been coaching there for over 30 years. And if I'm being honest, this wouldn't be a bad replacement, right, of bringing in a proven winner to that program. Now, I know all you Bama's only care about one thing. Scotty, how much is she going to get paid? Now, Tulane is a private university, if I'm not mistaken. It was very hard to find the salaries. Not something like pinpoint, like, hey, this is the number. I couldn't really find it. Did some research and whatever. So I did something better. I went to somebody in the conference who had just hired a new coach, right? Nooner is a former Kansas assistant, whatever, right? I think his name is like Tyler Nooner or something like that. He just signed with Wichita State. And he's a women's coach for Wichita State. And he got a 5-year contract that was $1.7 million annual, like, overall. And it says Nooner's annual salary averages at $341. Now, let me show you his resume. Now, this looks like a lot of backseat driving, in my opinion. Right? It's a lot of backseat driving. I don't see him being the top dog. I was about to say head man, no Diddy. I was about to say he's never been the head man. No Diddy. All right, no Diddy. All right. It's a lot of backseat driving I see on here. Right? Assistant coach, assistant coach, assistant coach, assistant coach, player development coach, assistant coach, assistant coach. Right? So, in my personal opinion, being in the same conference, we all know schools have different budgets, but Tulane got that money. All right? Tulane got that money. And like Blue told me and Smash told me, that's that hospital money. It come different. No homo. No Diddy. All right? No Diddy. So, in my personal opinion, if her agent is doing his job and he is looking around at the market of what said people are making, right? You got to be at one. Her resume alone has to start at $1.5 million over, 4, 5, 6, whatever contract they deem to give her. But she needs to be in that 1.5, you know what I'm saying? Now, do I, annually, maybe 350, 400,000? Do I think that Tahoe State can make it there? I do not. I do not. Right? I do not. For a women's basketball coach, I do not. Maybe some, outside forces or maybe some sponsorships or something they might get to 250, maybe 275. I think that 300K point for Tamika is going to be a hard stop for Tahoe State. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know their budgets like that. I don't know their numbers like that. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. So, but I think Tamika Reed is worth 1.5 easy and up. Her resume alone garners what a $1.5 million salary, if not more, depending on what she does and who she goes to.
You are the only participant in the conference. All participants are muted.
Now, I'm not saying every place is a great fit for her. I'm not saying that. I do believe that she is a great recruiter. I believe if she stays somewhere below the South, I do believe her impact will be noticeable very quickly at the program. I think if she goes above that Mason-Dixon line, I think she might have a hard time recruiting. That's just my personal opinion. I'm just saying. I think some places you're comfortable in your environment and you know where to go and who to tap into and all those type of things. But I talked to Zoe, and Zoe said she's been a recruiter before she stepped into some head coaching roles. She had been a high level recruiter, so recruiting is not going to be an issue for her going to another level program, as well as the resources and the availability of funds to help her do what she needs to do. I believe it's a quick turnaround for Tamika Reed, and the resume shows you I know she loves Jackson State. I know she loves the city of Jackson. I know she is through and through Jackson, Mississippi, right? But you take that hard-nosed, in-your-face grill, you add more resources, more funds, and you add just a little bit more respect to the conference of what Tamika Reed could really be. I would not be shocked, and you can say whatever you want. I would not be shocked if in the next 5 to 10 years you can see Tamika Reed in the Don Staley type of situation where she has a program headed and rolling in that direction. Like, she takes a Power 5 program that you're like, they care about basketball, they never really been anything, and she gets it up and rolling, and it's a well-oiled machine, and people come to her program. I can't see why it doesn't work, because she's just an embodiment of success. That just is what she is. So that's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 5 to 10 years you see Tamika Reed in that Don Staley role of just moving and having a program rolling and just getting high-level recruits and high-level recruits and high-level recruits. And, it could be in a situation like the girl replacing Kim Mulkey at Baylor, right? It could be one of those situations to where you think that program, once they lose their coach, that it doesn't go anywhere and stuff like that. And I read that Kim Mulkey article. That shit was lame. I'm sorry. Maybe it was just me. I read the piece from Washington Post. I didn't really feel it was a hit piece. It felt like a freaking Kim Mulkey documentary, like a low-budget Kim Mulkey documentary. It wasn't that good in my personal opinion. I was looking for the spice and the flavor. It wasn't much of that. It really wasn't much of that. It was pretty much saying like, hey, this is Kim Mulkey. This is how she grew up. This is how she was. And if I'm being honest, listen, you can say whatever you want. If you go back and watch Kim Mulkey at 5'4", like, there's no way Kim Mulkey could play in today's basketball. There's no way. There's no way. I don't care what nobody. There's no freaking way Kim Mulkey could play in today's college basketball. She could not. She could not. I saw those La Tech highlights. Okay, the girl would literally be driven up to the free throw line, and nobody would be guarding her. To the freaking dog. Like, what? What? She 5'4", literally dribbling up to the free throw line, and everybody's inside the paint like this. Come on, man. We done with the 80s. We done with the 80s. That's what we on. We done with the 80s, man. The 70s, whenever she played. We done with them. Ooh. Boy, if Tennessee got, listen, let me just say this. If Tennessee got Tamika Reed, Rocky Top, give me my burnt orange now. Rocky Top. Oh, I'm in there. I'm in there. Okay? I'm in there. saying. So, dog, at best, we done with that. That was crap. But I'm just saying, she did Rocket Top. I'm giving me. I don't even know the little song. All I know is Rocket Top. You know what I'm saying? So I would love to see it. But that's just my thoughts on Tamika Reed and the situation pending. Okay. She needs to get her money. I know she loved Jackson, Mississippi, but I think she's done a lot for HBCU basketball. I would have loved to see her win a tournament. I would have loved to see her win a first round, but she's done an amazing job at Jackson. I've always been a big fan of Coach Reed. Immense amount of respect for her. I think the only thing I would ever regret is that I never got a chance to interview Coach Reed. Like that that's just one coach. Like I really wish I could interview. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my biggest regret if she left and I never got a chance to interview. Dog, at 5'4", bro, at 5'4". Now she did have some court vision. I ain't gonna lie to you. She dropping some dimes, but come on, man, the girl could barely shoot. I don't know, N.O. Joe. I know Paris said in Ashley Robinson I trust. So you just gotta roll with Ashley, see what Ashley gonna do with it. You know what I'm saying? See what Ashley gonna do with it. Now, let me say this, right? Because me and Perry had gotten so much pushback from the show. Okay, let me just say that we got so much pushback from this show. It was ridiculous. Of just like you really don't grasp how much people don't like change, right? Or they only like change when it's in something that they could grasp. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Jay-Z said a quote said, the only reason you think it's impossible is because you couldn't do it, right? Like it was something like that. I believe he said to somebody, he's like, don't tell me something's impossible just because you couldn't do it, right? My thing was this, seeing all the comments and seeing, just some of the messages that we got after the show about this show really shows to me a small microscope or a small community of just what we as Black people have to fight through on a constant basis. Like you're not just fighting the white man in government or, the hurdles put in place to stop us, funding limitations or just, institutional race. Like you're not just fighting that, you're also fighting your own people and them also having the mindset of you can only go this far or you can only be in this playground. Like don't go down the street and play at that playground. You're not going to like that. Or they don't want us down there. And I had a conversation with a guy who's very successful. And he explained to me, he said, Scotty, if you think about it, as Black people, we've just dealt with so much trauma. And if you just go back 60 to 70 years, like we were still having dogs sicked on us and water hoses sprayed and all type of things, right? And let me be very clear. I'm not saying that I love criticism, right? And Mr. Campbell can speak on my behalf. I love criticism. I love when people criticize me because I always can find, in some things you can find a snippet of things that you can do better, right? I've had calls from ADs who've criticized me, and I've taken it in stride, and I say, hey, there's things I can do better, right? So the criticism of the idea is not a problem to me. It's the fact of like people saying, why would you do it? Like that is what blew my mind. Like it's like when you look at how things are structured in today's world and you see how everything is moving and you ask me, why would you do this? What do you mean, why would I do this? Like, it doesn't, this is the way things are going. How do you, my question is, when ESPN made ESPN Plus, nobody in the black community is like, why are they doing that? Nobody thought like that. Everybody and all your commissioners and all your ADs at the time and all your presidents were like, oh man, this is a better way for us to get on ESPN. We're still we don't have to worry about being on ESPN 2 or 1 anymore, or you, or ESPN Deportes, or ESPN Ocho, right? We can now be on ESPN Plus. Ha! Nobody said, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense. But then when you turn around and you do it for yourself, or you try to implement it on your behalf to where you're in the ownership role of it, then it's like, why are we doing this? Why would we do this? And I'm like, why wouldn't you? Like, if you just see, and the thing about it that kills me is people always want to throw out the money, right? The money. And I'm just like, yes. The guy that I spoke with, he said, Scotty, we have to understand that nobody's equal. And when he said it, it kind of threw me back. I said, nobody. He said, yeah, nobody's equal. He said, we have to get out the mind like, oh, I should have what they have. And he said, nobody's equal. He said, you do things that I can't do. I do things that you can't do, right? Some people are 6'5", some people are 5'10". Some people can write really well. Somebody got chicken scratch. He said, but what we're looking for is equal opportunity. We're looking for equal opportunity. So where you present it openly and you give me the chance to show my ability and to say, I'm the best person for this job, or we can do what you can do, but we can do it better in our own way. Equal opportunity, right? So when I was having a conversation with him, right, and these are just some of the dumbass questions that we got. Who gonna run it? Will it have closed captioning? Why is it so expensive? Will it cut my hair? Like, I mean, nobody asked that, but that's where I felt it was going next, right? Will it cut my hair? Can it give me my nails done? You know, would it take me to work? No, the freaking won't. It's a freaking app, okay? It's a freaking app. Relax, okay? Now, there's 3 things that I spoke to this when I spoke to this guy. Now, mind you, let me be very clear. I don't go do research for people who are hearsay, like, oh, I've heard, or no. I called a guy who owns a streaming platform that builds streaming platforms. Like, he builds apps for a living. He promotes, builds apps for a living. He has done it at the highest level. So when I go get research, I don't go get something I say, oh, I heard from a person that heard from no. I went to somebody who is making money, living a very wealthy life, building apps and streaming them. And this is what he told me. He said, the biggest issue will be these 3 things, Scotty, when it comes to doing what you said you're going to do. He said, the biggest one is the ongoing maintenance of the app, right? He said, depending on what you're asking, the startup range can be between $25K to $100K. Now, let me break this down for you. He said, now, if you're going to do it like for me, or if you were doing something like this, it all depends on how you approach the deal. Now, if you came to me saying you want to approach the deal in a partnership, well, then based off the partnership, we're going to bring the cost down for you, right? But if you're not talking a partnership and you just want us to flat out do it for you, right? Like you're paying for us for a service, well, depending on the low end is $25K, the high end's $100K. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're adding in servers and hosting fees and updates and all those things. And then he told me every platform you decide to jump on is a fee and a maintenance fee, right? So if you want to be on LG channels, if you want to be on Roku, if you want to be on Pluto, if you want to be on Fubu, and all, if you want to be on all these little fast channels and all that type of stuff, Amazon and PS Network, if you want to be on all these platforms, it's a fee, and there's also a maintenance fee for those, right? So he said those all coming to cost. And then he said the ongoing maintenance monthly can be between 10K to 50K. So having that initial startup money, because it takes, if anybody doesn't know how advertising works on a net 30, sometimes a net 60, right? So you'll go 30 days before you'll get a payment from your advertiser. So you're already in the hole. You get what I'm saying? So if you want me to help you out in a like in the hole type of paycheck, is like you'll work for 2 weeks before you get that first paycheck, right? So you're in the hole of the check, right? You don't get the first check, you got to go another check and all that type of stuff. So that's how advertising can work. It could be a net 30 or net 60, and you'll be in the hole. So now, but sometimes even a net 90, right? Sometimes even a net 90. So you can be in the hole a few months and still have to pay maintenance fees and monthly fees and things like that. Now, let me give you an example, right? I was listening to a podcast. I sent it to my guy, Perry. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about the Utah Jazz. Now, I understand the Utah Jazz is led by a billionaire. I understand the Utah Jazz makes millions of dollars from the NBA. I understand it. But what I need you guys to understand is the logic, right? The Jazz have decided to go away from cable network, the regional cable network, right? And they decided to do OTT, which is over the air. So your antenna, right? So you could just get a Utah Jazz regionally in that area if you buy an antenna. And then they've made Jazz Plus. So now they have Jazz games and Jazz behind the scenes and all that stuff behind an app, right? And he says, we won't see, he said, the interviewer asked him, when will you be whole, or when will you see a profit? Over the top. Thank you. Thank you. Over the top, right? And he's like, when will you see a profit? He said, we don't expect to see a profit in the first 2 to 3 years. He said, but year 4, we will be making projectedly more than what cable network could have ever paid us, right? So it's understanding that you're making an investment in yourself, right? Of what you're trying to build long term, because I'm going to keep saying it. There's a reason why you see liquor stores in the hood, and it's not because they're going broke. It's because it's money to be made. There's a reason that ESPN Plus decided to grab HBCU content and put it behind a paywall, because they knew off of their research that ninjas would pay $10.99 a month to see their team, for only their team, right? Y'all don't, most of you Bammers ain't watching 5 FCS games, right? You're watching your team for $10.99, and there's nothing else that ESPN Plus does for you unless you want to watch a couple little weird games here and there. That's it. That is all, right? Number 2, when I spoke to this person, he said, who is in the driver's seat? Who is leading this endeavor? Who will be running it? He said the farthest you can, and I say it all the time, and y'all Bama's think I'll be hating on Dr. Charles, right? Right? Is that it's not about, it's the lack of vision that kills movement, right? You can say whatever you want, and I hate to say this, but I got to use it. Martin Luther King had a vision for what this world could look like. Malcolm X had a vision for what this world could look like for us as colored people in this world, right? The people that stood in lines, the people that protested, the people that went out and voted and fought for voting rights had a vision of what this world would look like for us in the future. My point to you is this: It's the same thing in business. If you do not have a vision, nor able to implement that vision, you're not going to go very far. And so it takes a few things. It takes a visionary, and it takes that visionary understanding what he can and cannot do, and then getting the right people around him to push that vision to the next level. So who is leading this network, or whatever you want to call it, is very important. Can me and Perry answer that for you? No, we cannot. Right? Like, we can't answer who we decided, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't Dr. Charles. It won't be Dr. Charles, nor would be that woman from the MEAC, Sandra. It wouldn't be neither one of those. Listen, in this game, you got to get somebody who knows the game. I'm not going to bring somebody who plays checkers over to play chess. It don't work like that. Right? Just because you play field hockey don't mean you can play the real hockey. It don't work like that. So you would have to find somebody that understands the business, has a vision for what this could look like, and understand and builds the right team around to understand how the money is being implemented, how it's getting dividend, how it's getting brought in, and all those type of things to make it work, right? So yes, that is in its own faction a big entity of this whole thing. And the last thing he said, which we all know was coming up: can ninjas work together? Can ninjas work together? Ninjas working together. I do not care what you say. And you can have, it can be 20,000 comments of, oh, Scotty, it's just not a black people problem. No, it's a black people problem. Everybody has their quarrelsomes in their own race. But it is just something about black people that we have a harder time working together. And he said, Scotty, this is the issue that happens. He said, I'm telling you, I've talked to presidents, I've talked to ADs. He said, you will have a president who knows what he's talking about and knows what to do. But then when you got 5 or 6 other ninjas who don't know what they're doing, they block the one guy who actually knows what he is doing. That is the issue. He said, and it goes to every level. The ADs, the VPs, the chancellors, the president. He said it infiltrates everything. He said you'll find 1 or 2 people who actually know what they're talking about, who are actually doing a good job. And then you have bad ADs and bad presidents who think they're doing a good job and they really not. And that's where the overlap. And he said, then this is where it gets even worse. You try to bring this in place and plant it in the space. Well, now you're messing up side deals. Now you're messing up money under the table. How did you get this contract? How is this working out? Who signed this? How did you start getting in all the weeds of how business is done? And you start bringing up skeletons in people's closets, and nobody wants that. And nobody wants that. Not the people who have been doing bad business, not the people who've been doing shady stuff, not the people who've been getting money under the table. Right? and I gave an example. I was watching this movie, Acrimony. I had never seen it before. I think I watched it 2 or 3 days ago, Acrimony. I saw a little clip on it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, let me check this movie out. I was like, oh, it's a Tyler Perry movie, right? So there's a part in the movie Acrimony, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about, where the guy, he's been working on this battery for 18 years. He's been working on this battery. And he's been working on this battery to get it invested in by a billionaire. He's been doing it for 18 years. He gets an opportunity He finally gets an opportunity to sit down in front of the billionaire, right? And the billionaire tells him this: for all your work, for all your intellectual property, I will buy it for $800,000. And the guy says, sir, if I did that, you would make millions and I would only make $800K. He said, I can't take the deal. Now, I gave that example to the guy I was talking to. And he said, Scotty, I see what you're saying. He said, but you got to look at it from a personal level. He said, think about it like this. He said, you're an AD and all you care about is your right now. He said, how would an AD or president feel that he can have a headline saying, I brought in an $800,000 deal, right, for my institution or my athletic program, and then I probably got a percentage of it because, you know, I brought the deal in, and now I'm making a better life for my family right here, right now. He said that's how people in those positions think. He said instead of thinking at the long-term possibility, because if you watch the movie, he loses the deal because he wants to lease his intellectual property. He didn't want to sell it. He comes back. The guy comes back. He offers him $75 million, and he gets to keep his intellectual property and his lease. Now, I'll say this. I'm going to keep it a buck with you. That doesn't mean it can happen for everybody like that. Like you turn down a deal and it gets a better deal, right? All I'm saying is you got to know your value. But what he's saying is you won't see many ADs and presidents turn down right now money to look down the future 4 to 5 or 6 years and say, you know what, we can get a better deal maybe in 2 to 3 years, right? They're going to take the headline. They're going to take the now money. And this the same thing I'm telling you guys when I talk about the HBCU Go deal and I talk about these deals that the CIAA and the SIAC have signed. It's not, they are bad deals because of how they're structured. But when you have conferences living on right now money, it's just how it goes, right? Like, that's just how it goes. Like, and I'm going to take me as an example, right? I get paid a certain amount of money from YouTube. I get a certain amount of money from my sponsorship or whatever. But if I ever decided to go solo dolo, right, that's a bet on myself that I just have to live with and understand that, once again, just like Dr. Charles has 12 schools to feed, I have 4 or 5 mouths to feed, right? I got 4 to 5 schools to feed, right? So people can get locked into that right now money because you're like, right now I need it. I can't take the risk of having a guaranteed $10,000 or, you know, for the ESPN contract, a guaranteed $60,000. Or do I take the unknown of what I could possibly make, right? Of I could possibly make $1 million a month. Possibly. I could possibly not. Right? So in totality, all I'm telling you is this. Do I believe this is possible? Right? Absolutely. Right? Absolutely. Do I think this is possible? Do I think that schools and ADs will really sit down and have the conversation on how this stuff really works and how it can be a blessing to them in disguise? Absolutely not. And the thing is, and what I'm scared for us as people, right, is that the more years we hinder ourselves from jumping into it, is the further we get back. It's like anything else. if you're always the last person to get involved in it, you're not going to get as much money because now they're going to something new. And then when they're in the something new, you're always in the back. We're always in the back pulling up the rear of technology, where you're in this cable cutting edge, the cord cutting era, that now you need to start seeing it for what it is and starting to move in that, right? Starting and it gets and it really realistically, the MEAC and the SWAC could really do their own apps, and then maybe 5 to 10 years later they merge them together. You get what I'm saying? Like, build it on your own and see how it does for you. Right? You could build your own, you could have a SWAC Plus app, right? And put everything behind on the SWAC Plus app. And then if you ever decide to merge with the MEAC, if they have a MEAC Plus and you got a SWAC Plus app, and then you bring it together later down the line, because now you see how it works and how you're making money, or all those little things, right? But you just got to start somewhere. And that's the thing that I think a lot of people are missing, the fact is that you have to start somewhere. It's the same thing, and my wife said it. If we knew now what we should have known then, everybody on here would have put money in Bitcoin. Everybody would have bought Apple. Everybody would have invested in Google. All the people who took a risk at that time have now seen them pay out. Right? When everybody else is like, nah, I'm good. Nah, you got to get in the game. Or Amazon when they were selling books. I remember Amazon when they were selling books, and I'm like, who the hell buy books online, right? I remember that. You got to get in before you will get left. Facebook, all these things, right? That have, when they step on the scene, they're a faux pas. Who would do that? Why would Twitter? I remember when Twitter came out, I said, hold up. It's an app where you just tell other people what you're thinking? That don't make no sense. That's what I said to myself. When Twitter first came out, I was like, it's an app where you tell people what you're thinking and your thoughts? That don't make no damn sense. And now I love Twitter, right? So it's crazy. Mr. Campbell, coming to you.
Hey, man, this is brilliant, but I want to tell people you don't have to recreate the wheel. And what you're saying is, so you do know that these companies are already getting together. ESPN, Fox, and Warner Brothers are all creating a joint app, right, to stream sports. You know that, right?
Yeah.
So if they're going to do that, and they're going to put under the umbrella ESPN, ESPN Plus, ABC, Fox Sports, TBS, True TV, and they're going to show NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, hockey, college sports, and golf. Because you know what they understood? That if we put this all together, the synergy start happening. We could share the cost of production. We could share the cost of putting it out.
Media rights.
The cost of marketing.
Yeah, and media rights.
All of that.
Yeah.
And that. And we got a one-stop shop. So the crazy thing about it, what you're proposing is so smart and makes sense. So you've got the SWAC, and they've got their little piece that can only get so many people. You got the MEAC that's got so many people. And then you can start going down to the CIAA and even to the SIAC. But when you start putting all those patches together, it's just like a quilt. Then you can cover yourself. You can keep yourself warm.
Yeah.
Because your patch is not big enough. Your patch can't make a quilt. But I tell you what, we start putting all these patches together. Now we got one quilt that we can put together. So it's just interesting to me that I don't need you to be innovative. And I always tell people that nobody has a brand new idea. Most people just copy somebody else's idea and just make it better. So if you see these big white companies that already on their own saying, you know what, it might be better if we just all get together. Why wouldn't you just sit back and say, you know what? Them white folks is on to something. Maybe us 4 commissioners need to get together and do the exact same thing. Package all our stuff together and then go to them and say, hey, listen, what do you think this is worth? Because we already know what the argument is. I see the arguments all the chat. Well, the SWAC doesn't have this, and they don't have that market. The MEAC doesn't have enough schools and all that. Okay, fine. I get all that. But then to your point, when you put all of that together, how much more money would you get compared to what you're getting now, which is nothing? Which is nothing. So it just blows my mind that we constantly act like we don't see other people making these moves, and you cannot copy those moves.
Yeah.
And do your exact same thing. So that's what really just bothers me. And what is so brilliant about what you just kind of put out there is that, so you got McNugget, Dr. McClellan, I'm giving respect to my Jackson homeboy, and then you got them. Why are they not sitting down? Andrew Holloman, who was at Jackson State, now he's over at the SIAC now. He's down there. Really good brother. I know this brother. Vice president of student affairs over at Jackson State. These are very smart people. Why don't you, again, sit back and say, how do we package that? Because, again, the marketing dollars where you cover all the way, if you go, so I guess what Delaware State would be the furthest north. Again, just doing quick math.
Yeah.
Or maybe, I don't know if schools in Pennsylvania are in the CI, whatever. And then you come all the way over to Texas. That's a hellified reach. And again, you got all this type of programming that you got, which is exactly what I'm reading from the press release. What the white people are saying. All you got to do is replace their name and put in SWAC, MEAC, CIAA, SIAC. It's the exact same thing. And then let me just tell you real quick, I just want to make a point about that. Because, you know, we have a mobile. We've had the mobile. And yes, it is expensive to keep that maintenance up. But the whole point of it is that's part of your project plan. That's what the cost of doing business. So it's not like any business that you create, you don't put that in the cost of doing business.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's, to me, that's nothing, a barrier that you got to jump over. I just wanted to make that point. They're already doing it. They're getting ready to do it. So why don't you just follow the same path? So that's all, man. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out because you're pointing out what the white people are already getting ready to do. And we're going to have one app that they're going to charge us all that money for. It's going to be the $29.99. It's going to be called the All Sports app, and we all going to buy it. We're all going to buy it. Bottom line, point blank. Sorry, man. Great show.
No, appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate the call. JB, coming to you.
Hey, Scotty, how you doing,
What's
sir?
up, man? Hey, listen, I'm not ducking you, bro. I've been on. My kid's been on spring break.
You good?
Yeah, so I just wanted to, you know,
good, bro.
It's been crazy. Go ahead.
You good? We'll talk later, man. We'll talk offline about that. You good? No, but the other thing is, the first thing I want to say though, so you mentioned something just now, I think before you got started on this, about the trauma and stuff. Folks, I'm going to tell you the same thing. My mom just turned 79 years old. HBCU grad told me, we got to let that go. We can't keep holding on to that trauma forever and ever and ever. We got to move on from that. Things happened in the past. Get that. But that cannot continue to be our existence.
I'll say this.
It just can't.
I'll say this. I disagree, right?
Sure.
Because nobody tells that to Jews. Nobody tells that to the Jews, right? They be like, boy, they'll bring up the Holocaust so fast on you, it will make your head spin. But they move like it hasn't happened. So that's the thing. I won't ever say that it did not happen, right? Like the trauma didn't happen, because that's facts. But I do agree with you. We need to move like it never happened. But once people act like it didn't happen, they be like, oh, whoa, wait a minute now. 400 years of slavery. Let's not act like you didn't do that. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's a bit of both. I do think it's a bit of both. So go ahead.
So that's my point I'm trying to make. That's what I'm trying to make about. I can keep moving on stuff. Now, I guess now about the network idea that you pitched with Perry last week. I saw it on your show. Then I saw it on Perry's show on Saturday too. Scotty, I watched that show and I got angry. Because I saw 1,000,001 excuses as to why things don't happen. Now, I think Mr. Campbell kind of stole a bit of my thunder too. And of course, I'm going to kind of add on to what he was talking about. He talked about some of the white folks who are already doing, and he's absolutely right about that. But what is the one thing that we do as HBCU folks? We say that I want to be like white folks. I don't want to see what white folks do. We want to do our own thing. That pride comes in. Because whenever we talk about follow other mid-majors, follow other things like sports-related stuff, we say, well, we don't want to do what the white people do. We want to come up with our own plan, our own idea. And I think that too many of us are so stuck on trying to do our own thing. But then the other thing that I want to mention is about the cost and stuff. Scotty, I think the cost is just fine the way it is in terms of what you had mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to what the issue really, really, really is. It's not about return on investment. I think it's about two things. It's about, number one, maybe the stakeholders don't know how to set it up and they just don't want to say it. Maybe they don't know how to get the plan going, and that's fine. But then the other thing is, when people say that they don't have the money for stuff, and we just stop that too, because we got money. Sorry about that. My school light went off.
You're fine.
We got money to pay out a coach to get fired from a certain institution, and I know because two of my buddies actually one of the son actually contributed money to get duly gone out of his contract. We could raise money to come up with travel for bands to go everywhere. How come we cannot raise money to come up with this stuff too? TOO. We can walk and chew gum at the same time. So I think that that's something we need to address. But the other thing is, and this is my last point, before I go there, go on whatnot. I think one thing we don't want to talk about is how many people who are already doing what they do for this, how many of those people are going to be left out the cold? Meaning, how many people are going to be out of a job when these things happen? Because some people who've been doing this stuff for years and years and years and years, guess what? They may not be included no more. And people who are used to doing something, that scares them. If people who are going to potentially be the odd person out, maybe because they've outlived their usefulness and they're not moving a certain kind of way, that bothers people. So they'll go out of their way to try to shut something down because they want to keep their seat at the table.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate the
and
call, JB.
For that, man. We'll catch up, bro.
No, we'll chop it up off the line. Appreciate it. Listen, I want to go back. I want to go back to what Mr. Campbell said, and I didn't really think about this until he said it. If you be, and let me bring this up too, because somebody made a comment. I like this, right? Shout out to the guy, Mr. Rodney. He said, let me move this up a little bit. Let me see. Okay, here we go. He said, start at $99 for a SWAC football season pass and go from there. If certain people can't pay for the SWAC football season pass, then so be it. Let them attend the games or purchase individual SWAC football game pass streams or watch games when show on ESPN Family, family of networks or whatever. Network carries SWAC football games outside of SWAC football game pass. I like this. I like the season pass. I like that. I think it'll be dope. And you get all the conference game. It'll be on demand. It'll be all type of stuff. I think it's absolutely dope. This is how I said it. $8.99, 18 schools, all conference games, on demand, live, all pay-per-view. I think that'd be pretty dope. So shout out to Mr. Rodney for that. Let me say this. This is my opinion, and I'm gonna come to you real quick, Rocky. My thing is this. And I want to bring up what Mr. Campbell said. If you build an app and you bring everybody underneath of that app, right? I then think that you then share the cost of that. That to me is genius, right? If I'm able to bring in the SIAC, the CIAA, the SWAC, the MEAC, I'm now able to split the cost 4 ways. So instead of the SWAC having to pay $10,000 to $15,000 a month for the cost of that, right? Now I'm splitting that between 4 conferences, and now it's not hitting my pockets as hard as it would have before if it was all on me, right? It's that aspect of it. And now whomever is bringing in all that dough and money or whatever is now you're able to finagle it, and it just makes sense when you bring everybody in. Okay, got a lot of callers. Rocky coming to you. No, I'm gonna go Rocky. I'm gonna do you last, Rocky, because you be talking a lot. And Perry's supposed to be coming on too. 5849 coming to you.
How you doing, Scotty?
What's up? What's your name? Where you calling?
It's Mark in Houston.
What's up, Mark?
I have an idea. So, you're talking about streaming the sports and whatnot, HBCUs, but there's also another money maker because all the HBCUs have spring concerts. And we know based on like the hip hop awards and all that, what those numbers do across America, international. So let's say you have your spring concert, but you simulcast. So you have Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Alcorn, Jackson Southern, all the spring concerts the same day, and it's bouncing from school to school. That's re-energizing your student base and future students to be more familiar with the amenities and the potential of being in their school. And that's a money maker.
Yeah. I mean,
but ESPN not even doing that because they don't really care what's going on. They making money off you. They pimping you.
No,
but you could be making money off yourself if you utilize what you already have. You're gonna do the spring concert anyway, but can't nobody see it because it's not streaming.
No,
so we're supposed to have a HBCU go, but we ain't gonna even talk about that.
No, I agree with you, and I think that's what me and Perry talked about with the HBCU TV. I appreciate the call, Mr. Marcus. Mr. Marcus, Lord have mercy.
What have I walked into?
His name was Marcus, and I was like, "Thank you, Mr. Marcus." I was like, "Oh God, oh Jesus, oh God."
That's for the people. That was before some
If you
YouTube. They don't know
know,
about
that
the
is-
VHS and DVDs.
Bro, if you know, you know. I'm so sorry, but no, that it goes into what me and Perry had already talked about with spring concert. All that stuff is content that can be used and shown on your own app, right? You get what I'm saying? And I want to go back to what Mr. Edwin said. He said, if I'm paying $90 for HBCU season pass, I better be able to, see any game I want, and it better be available if I don't see it live. Listen, I think that is one of the worst things that some of these apps don't have. I think that's one of the reasons why I love Flow Sports. Listen, y'all can say whatever you want. Okay, I love Flow Sports. Everything is on demand. If I miss a game, I can go back and scroll down and find week 1, week 2, week 3. It doesn't matter. I can find it, I can watch it, and I can see it like I just missed it yesterday. And I think that's why I cannot stand ESPN Plus. Once you miss it, I don't even know how to go back and watch an old game on ESPN Plus. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? Maybe catch a replay on a Sunday or something like that. It is what it is. I got some callers, Perry, so let me hit these callers up. Joe coming to you, then Rocky coming to you.
Hey, what's going on, Scotty?
What's up?
I got two things I want to say. Do the presidents and ADs meet once a year?
I believe they do. I know the ADs do. I don't know if the presidents get involved in that as well.
Okay, I got a thing with it for the app. I'm pretty sure these schools got tech programs, correct?
You said what programs?
The schools tech.
Yeah.
Program.
Yeah.
So they bring it out. Look, whoever can build the best app on a certain amount of money, and you can run the app, and we'll pay you to run the app. That way you can get the app from down there free. You hold a contest. Whoever comes out with the best app, you go with them and you let them run the app. I'm gone. I hear what you got to say.
I appreciate it, Joe. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. Cause I'm leaving too much up to chance. I don't know if you can host it. I don't know if you have the servers. It's a great. Now, what I will say is maybe you get a chance to be a part of building the app, but no, I'm not about to open it up to the comm majors and be like, oh, you guys building that. No, hell to the no. But I'm not doing that. Rocky, coming to you.
Hey, what's up, my brothers? What's going on, man? Y'all got this is a great conversation, and actually a conversation that I love. But one of the challenges I see is a challenge that I think exists in HBCU space right now is there's no information hub for HBCU culture, sports, and even politics surrounding HBCU schools. There's no hub. There's no place that all schools, all faculty, staff, all sports fans, all culture enthusiasts can go to and get a little bit or some of everything. And I think that proof of concept needs to exist before you invest thousands, possibly millions of dollars in an app. You know what I mean? And maybe you know, maybe I'm just not aware of it. Is there any hub where the culture comes together with sports, politics, entertainment, or whatever in the HBCU space about all the schools that are part of the HBCU ecosystem?
Hold on. Let me just make sure I'm understanding what you're saying. You're saying there is no hub that people
information hub, like website, blog, newspaper, whatever you want to call it. There's no hub to get HBCU content or new or that I know of. But again, I'm not an HBCU guy. That I know of to get information about games, to get information about events on campuses, to get information about just school, just about HBCU culture.
Barry, you got something for him?
No, I don't think there's a hub where you can get that. I mean, the hub for sports, I would simply say, is ESPN app or the school's athletic page, but there's no general hub where you can go to and just have a list of schools, click on their school and get general information about their school events and whatever's going on.
Or even headlines of what's happening. Like I would like to be able to go to an HBCU website, and even if I don't go to the games, that there are reports of things that are going on campuses and the games, and you know, Prairie View has things going on, Southern has things, and there are headlines about what may have happened and what could have happened or what's about to happen. You know what I mean? Just a whole like a HBCU a conglomerate of information.
But I think the closest you have to that is
go ahead.
The closest I think you can get to that is like Black College Experience. She gathers a lot of information from all schools and put it on one general social media site, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. You know, the same thing with like HBCU Buzz
or HBCU Game Day. Like, you know, like
those are social media sites that pull information from each individual school, and then they put it under their umbrella, and then you just like you can catch a probate real quick, somebody coming off, and then you'll catch something funny, then you'll catch this event. That's you're gonna have to look on social media, Black College Experience, HBCU Buzz, stuff like that.
And so, well, and the simple point I'm making is, I don't think you could have an app that's just HBCU sports based that would be wildly successful.
I disagree.
If you didn't bring in the culture.
I disagree.
You have to. Okay.
I disagree.
I think you have to bring in the culture to make the app. The app has to be robust enough to. It may feature sports, but for it to be really robust enough where the casual sports fan and the HBCU loyalists would also want to get on the app as well. That's what I believe.
The only part I agree with what you're saying, Rocky, is if you're trying to reach a base outside of your own. Outside of your own base, absolutely, you're going to have something different to make people tune in because they probably don't respect your sports. But the fan base alone of what you're building and what has already came and gone for HBCU sports would be able to make it thrive. It just is. To me, the numbers tell you based off attendance, leading in attendance, it tells you that there are people out there who want to get HBCU content and HBCU sports. Now, it might not be to the level of an ESPN Plus. It might not, but you don't need, listen, if I sell a book, if I had 30,000 subscribers and I sell a book for $5,000, I've made a great change off of my own fan base. I don't need it to be 5 million people. I can make a great living off of 1 million or off of 100,000. All about how you charge and how you manage what you have.
But my just point is, if you're going to build something out like an app, right? don't you want? I would think if you're gonna go through the process of building out an app, you want it to serve as many people as possible. You know what I mean? That may not you want it to serve the loyalists, sure enough, but you all because to me the real value, you know, this is just the real value is in the culture. The culture is where just think about it, Scotty. If you have a 60, you know, if you have a game that where 30,000 people attend the HBCU game, from what I've heard, it's only half of the people are really into the game. The rest of the people are socializing. They're for the culture.
The thing,
so you have to have an app. Go ahead.
I'm not disagreeing with you on building out the app, but if it was just sports and it was just, and I'll even keep it simple. If it was just football alone, it would still garner the attention that you're needing because there is no place on this earth where you can get every Division I game on demand when you ask for it, when you want it. The CIAA is the only conference that you can go to on the app, on their website, and get whatever game you want and whatever time period you want. The SWAC doesn't have that. The MEAC doesn't have that. North Carolina A&T has that with Flow Sports, right? But you can't find that anywhere else. There is value to that. And when you start building something, you don't build something in the thought of, oh, the people that I don't care about. That's not how you build something. You build something because there is a fan base and they're asked and you know they want this. And then where it grows from there, you take it. But just business aspect, I'm not going to make a new product and don't know the fan base or the niche market that I'm catering to.
Well, I don't know why, you know, to that point, you bring up the CIAA for just the sports content. I don't know why they don't go to the whoever built the CIAA's portal or platform and get them to do something for the SWAC or maybe, you know, in the MEAC. You know, why won't they just, you know, kind of do what Mr. Campbell said, just copy what's already there, what's already easy to use, what's already, you know, searchable and easy to find. You know, I don't know why they don't do that.
I don't know either, but I got to let you go. Rocket got a lot of callers on. Hey, Zoe, I'm coming to you next. What's up, Perry?
I would say, you know, for anybody that's listening, always understand you're not necessarily worried about the people that's in place that love who you are now. Like any business, you always looking for the next customer. You're always looking for somebody who may not have heard of your business, because how long are you going to survive with the same 100 customers that's come to you and you're not going to put anything into marketing to try to get 100 more customers and 100 more customers? So think about this. We always talk about the HBCU world, but we are a small community in the grand scheme of things. There are a lot of people out there that do not know about our culture, but would love to know about it if they ever figure it out. And you see it anytime, just any piece of our culture leaks out to mainstream and people start to find out, they have questions. Who is Jackson State? Who is Graham? Who is Son? I didn't even know they did these things. So I think we got to get out of this notion that because you Black, that you automatically can assume to associate to know what the SWAC, the MEAC, and what HBCUs are and what happens there. There are a ton of students in Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Detroit. Just take what the Honda Battle of the Bands is doing right now. Did you see the announcement, Scotty?
No.
They're doing the Honda Battle of the Bands next year in Los Angeles, California.
Oh, wow.
You know why? That's a whole market out there that they want to take culture that's from in the South and take it out to the West Coast to where Black folks are at that have no relations, some of them will have ties, but just the overall notion that how we know about and can see, like you drive from Ohio to go to Alabama State this week.
Yeah.
But to take that and give that to them, that's a whole new door that's going to open for HBCUs that's going to expose it. Imagine how many kids, when they go to that Battle of the Bands, how that one band that they hear transform their life forever and make them off of that one instance want to come to an H. So that's all I'm saying. This app, this network, this idea, don't look at it for us who love it. Look for the people who we can ultimately get to love it. The same way the Bayou Classic was an experience for me. I went, it was the experience of me seeing everything that ultimately made me fall in love with Southern. Other than that, I would have never been at Southern. I would have seen it from afar, but it's the experiences. An app, an HBCU, television, whatever network can give kids an experience and ultimately generate them to it. My On the Yard show when I was at Southern, I would have kids come to me that I didn't know and say, because I watched your show, that's what made me come to Southern. I saw a Pretty Wednesday. I saw the Miss Thicket in the Snicker contest. I know you like that one. You would have came to Southern off that one alone.
Off that alone.
You know, so it's a recruiting tool. These things grow, and there's a young audience who stays on their phone 24/7, constantly looking for content to look at.
Yeah.
Constantly looking at it.
Zoe, coming to you. And then 3453, you next. What's up, Zoe?
Not gonna Perry stole my thunder, but I do want to say this. The first order of business is Black people have got to stop devaluing our own product. That's the first thing. But to Perry's point, two things can be true. We still need to grow at what we are, but then we also do need to take it abroad and grow, because we have to stop this whole assumption that just because you're Black, you know what HBCUs are.
You don't.
And so I like the idea of the Hunter Battle events going to LA and then going to the other markets, because again, this is going to sound crazy what I'm about to say, but to a great number of Black folks, HBCUs still have an untapped market, and it's Black folks.
That's true. That's true.
A fact. That's a fact. You still have an untapped market, and it's Black folks. And the thing is, but we have a built-in tie with those Black folks because of the Great Migration. They're Black, and a good portion of them aren't familiar with HBCUs, but they have tie-ins to them with family and relatives down to the Deep South. And so again, you have to build rapport and take in those ties. You know what I'm saying, for that. But with regards to this platform, the thing is, the problem is we have been slow to change, and it's almost like we refuse to take on new ideas. Scotty, if you remember this point in time last year, we had a conversation and we stated that you have all these suggestions, and I guarantee you that no one in the SWAC office or the MEAC office is even considering those things. And you know how today we know that to be true? Because nothing's happened. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
On either front. So it's like, at what point, when do we do something? Because again, we can't keep doing the same status quo. We have the brightest talent on our campus, and I use you, Scotty, for the example that you use. We have these great business programs, but we consistently do what? Bad business.
Bad business.
But what it shows you that we're slow to change. I make a joke all the time. I say, if you really want to be honest, most Black folks should be Republicans because we hate change. We're conservative by nature.
We really are.
So we're conservative by nature. So you would think most Black people move like Republicans.
Ask somebody Black for some money.
We have to be open.
Say it again, Barry.
Ask somebody Black for some money and watch what they tell you. What Mike F said, let me tell you about my money, player. I worked real hard for my money. And so the thing to that is, man, we are at a great crossroads right now. We have a great opportunity right now, more than we did 10 years ago or 20 years ago, for growth and for prosperity, whether it's as a collective or individually as the MEAC and the SWAC. We really, really do. But we're dropping the ball. And for what? We have all these great ideas, and this is not your first show talking about this. We've had several shows talking about this kind of stuff, but yet still nothing has happened. I'm talking about anything. There's not been one thing tangible that has happened to say, oh wow, they're doing this. Yeah. Oh wow, they're doing this to bring in more revenue. We've said, how many times have we all collectively or individually said, man, the SWAC needs their own SWAC network, whether it's on a YouTube-based thing or you actually got your own channel, and yet still in the year of our Lord 2024 on April Fool's Day, it ain't happened. We've been talking about this for 2 or 3 years, actually longer than this. It still hasn't happened. I can tell you right now, it will not happen even next year, because we refuse to think outside the box and actually factor in putting our best foot forward for our earning potential. Because honestly, we sit there and say the SWAC, if you really pay attention from a historical standpoint, we pretty much try to mirror what the SEC does in a lot of ways. But yet we don't mirror nothing when it comes to earning potential in regards to starting a network. And they started the SEC network, man, probably about 15 years ago. We still don't have one. They're not trying to have one.
Hey, Zoe, Perry got a question for you.
Let me ask you this. You know, one of the things I noticed with Scotty and I having this conversation, even having it with you, people will just be so quick before they even take the time to think, rationalize, even just ingest the idea. that'll throw me a million reasons on why we can't instead of just give me one reason on why we can and build from that. Why do you think it's that way when you look at the grand scheme of our people when it comes to us trying to do better, build something that we have to give so many reasons on why we can't instead of just give me one reason on why we can, plant that seed and grow from there?
It's an easy answer. I can look at probably every individual person, right? We highlight the negative more so we can the positive. If you hear people individually talk about their haters, right? Nobody ever bigs up their supporters, do they? So just like you can have a chat right now, as I'm on the screen, we got 1,000 people that's giving kudos in the comments, and I can't even see it right now. But you know what we'll highlight? The person who said something negative. It's just like, man, you can have somebody congratulating you, giving you praises, but it takes one SOB to say something bad, and guess what? You'll grab hold to it and cling to it all day long. It'll turn your energy. We're programmed to grab hold to negativity than we do positivity. The greatest high doesn't feel as good to you as the lowest low. I'll give you another analogy. It's just like credit, right? You got this amazing credit. You do one bad thing and it ruins you for 7 years. Never mind all the good that I've done for the previous 7. We're programmed to cling to negativity. Think about it. Somebody can come out here and tell you they love you right now. It don't feel as good to you as somebody who tell you that they hate you. It sticks to you, especially depending on who it come from. You can be married. Your wife tell you she love you. It don't feel the same to you as your wife tell you she hates you. And we as a people do that. We cling to negativity. So that answers your question.
So do we love HBCUs? Not us per se, but does the general community who will come to his defense, does the general community, in your opinion, the majority of the community, in your opinion, do they love HBCUs the way they say they love HBCUs?
I hate to do this to you, Perry, because you never answer a question with a question, but I'm going to ask you this. Well, you heard this statement before. Well, my dad would say this: don't listen to someone says, listen to what they do. So since I told you that, you give me your answer.
Yeah, I think we do it when it's only convenient for us.
What bothers me is this.
So what I'm saying is the majority of us, we say we love it. But love is a what? It's an action.
It's an action. Come on.
The majority of us don't love it. We say we do, but we don't do it.
I think the thing that bothers me the most in the community that I see is how quickly the HBCU Twitter will attack somebody on Twitter. And I'm like, damn, like if we was fundraising, if we were trying to come up with an app idea and fundraising, where them dollars at? Like it's really
we attack the government like that, telling them we want our money.
Come on. Everybody become a keyboard warrior. Everybody become a keyboard warrior on Twitter.
And we attack politicians.
Well, hold on. I can give you a better example. I hate to do this, but we're talking about it. Okay, Scotty. And Perry, the three of us could put our heads together and say we came out with an HBCU brand clothing line right now. Man, our people gonna come up, man. I need to hook up. What sale you got going on? Will we have people to support it? Of course we will. But the vast majority probably wouldn't. But yet and still, I have a product out here. I'm just gonna say Louis Vuitton. They don't even market to us. They don't give sales. And then what we do? We go out our way to buy that crap. And that's about overexpending. And we want y'all to know that we got it. And then we pay full price for it.
So let me ask you this.
But then we can go out here on our own. Shoot.
So let me ask you this. If it was 2 white people on here talking about building an HBCU app, how different do you think the response would have been?
Well, I'm kind of torn. But I'll say this. There will be a segment of people here who will support it, and you will have a segment who will say, no, you're not about to gentrify my HBCU. So I'm torn between my answer.
Okay. That's fair. I can rock with that. All right, so last point before we let you go.
No, man, it's just that, man, as a whole, man, we have got to do better. We do. Look, I do my part. Could I do better? Could I even do more? Hell yeah, I can. But to a man and to a woman, we say we love it, man, put the work in. And I'm gonna say this: everybody, when it comes to money and giving, we're not asking you to give all of what you got, but give what you can and give it consistently. And if you can't give money, man, give your time. That's your greatest resource. Do something. we should not be in the state that we're in, man. But when it comes to, from an athletic standpoint, when we talk about the visual and actually growing the product, man, each one of us can play a part in this. But as a whole, we got to make some changes. We got to take a long look in the mirror and say, man, what exactly is the end game? Where the hell are we actually trying to get to when it comes to this product? Because it is just a culture, and we want to treat it like a mom and pop thing. What is it? What is the tangible goal for what we're trying to take HBCU sports to? That's it.
Hey, appreciate the call, Zoe. Hey, Perry, I'm gonna take this call, but I want to stick on that topic of what Zoe said about where we're trying to take it. But I'm gonna take this caller next. 3453 coming to you.
Scotty, what it do, baby? This your boy. How you doing, big time?
Hey, what's up, Mr. Bugs?
All right, brother, man. I'm loving the conversation, man. I love Zoe. Zoe has some good wisdom on this, and I think I can kind of beef it up a little bit, or maybe add some value to what Zoe was saying. Perry, how you doing, big time?
Good afternoon.
Well, yes, sir. I think that the HBCU TV is a good idea. The problem in that I see when it comes to a lot of our community, and I'm the prime consumer because I didn't really have an appetite for HBCU sports until I discovered your show, Scotty. Notice I didn't discover it through the SWAC or MEAC. It was an independent show like yours.
Yeah.
And what actually happened was you gave me a peek into the brilliance of you attracted me through the sports aspect of it. I hadn't gotten the culture yet. I knew a little bit about the culture, a little bit, but I really didn't dive into it. What got me into the door was football, right? Yep. The same thing that the SEC does and the Big 12 does and the Power 5 ones do. They get you in the door via TV. What's been shown on TV. It was a good friend of mine by the name of Tim Sales. He's a multi-millionaire in marketing sales. He says the greatest marketing plan for colleges is college football, because they draw you in through the football scope, and then they show you the culture also at the exact same time. For instance, I know everybody they actually watch the college football scene, Virginia Tech, when they actually come out the first play of the game, first game of the season. That whole ordeal, they're showing you the entire culture while they're showing you the actual football itself. HBCU don't have that at all. I agree with you. ESPN Plus is trash, garbage. It made no sense at all. We need to get out of the conceptual stage and get into implementation. The problem that I see when it comes to leadership of both of these conferences is that they are not wise enough to ask for help. I love what the good bishop said. Have you not gone to the CIAA to go see how they're doing it? The answer is no, because we're kind of in love with doing things on our own. I can tell you right now, solopreneurs are going to get crushed by true entrepreneurs. Notice, one of the biggest three companies in the world, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. Now watch this. None of them are solopreneurs. Those are all joint venturepreneurs right there, entrepreneurs themselves. And they do everything together. Until HBCU sports begins to look at things from a together standpoint instead of being independent, we will always be crushed by the Power Fives. We can have the best culture, we have the best football players, but until we understand the business of marketing and sales, like Virginia Tech has, like the PWIs have, no one of it. We won't increase to that higher level. I make my best deals by inviting in wise counsel to say, okay, what am I not seeing here? I love what BMW does. What BMW does is whenever they actually unveil a new car, what they do is they actually have a contest, an internal contest of their best. And they say, design this car. And the entire staff votes on it. And then with the car that's actually delivered is due from that contest within BMW. But that only happens when you have a good culture. And unfortunately, from the top down, from the HBCU, I'm talking about the SWAC and the MEAC, I don't see that type of leadership. Because if they did, a show like Offscript will be probably the main show on HBCU, because it attracted someone like me, a novice, to HBCU sports. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
So it's just, man, I love the conversation, man. We have to really begin to transform our thinking to where we become better businessmen and businesswomen so that we can broker the correct deal that gets us to the goal of maximum exposure but which would then lead us to showing the HBCU culture to the masses. That's all I want to say, guys. God bless you guys.
Appreciate it, Mr. Bugs. Thank you so much. And listen, Smash, give us like 10 to 15 minutes. Smash, I'm coming to you. My thing is this. I do agree with Mr. Bugs and Zoe when it comes to the togetherness of it, right? Because I don't understand how you can write a letter to Congress together and say bringing NIL or having NILs be or having us pay our employees or pay our student athletes will be the detriment of us. But you can't come together to talk about where sports and sports media and sports consumption is going and streaming of how we can benefit together. Because to me, this is my thing. HBCU Go is doing the conglomeration without you. Think about that. They got the SIAC. They got the CIAA. They got the SWAC. They're doing the consolidating and they're leaving you out of it. They're taking it's like hungry hippo. They're taking everything and then they got all this and they're like, hey, appreciate y'all. They're not even bringing you into the fold. It doesn't make sense to me. Go ahead, Bear. What you got?
I think I'm just looking at the overall construction of how this thing can look. And I want people to just understand that if we can get around just all the whys and get straight to what we can do. I'm just more focused on the solution, I guess, Scotty. I constantly hear low resource institution. I constantly hear what we don't have. And then obviously there are people out there that want to see HBCU culture. There are people like you and I who are sports fanatics who want to watch games. And these schools have so much to offer. There are people out there like Smash and many other, including myself as well, who want to see the bands.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these things. I mean, just look what ESPN tried to do this year with the bands. Didn't they put it on? Didn't they see a value all of a sudden and then try to work it?
Yeah.
But they don't understand us when it comes to that. And it showed. It didn't work out the way that they thought because it wasn't by us. It was by them. They tried to do it to their way and they standard. And if you ask me, I thought it failed miserably. You know, but it's just the idea that we got to understand that this thing overall, there's a idea of what people love to see with HBCUs. Just go on Instagram and look up HBCU Buzz, HBCU Pride Nation. Just go look at all of those HBCU oriented sites that are on Instagram taking tidbits, bits and pieces, all of this stuff from these different schools and put it on there and look at the amount of followers they got, look at the views and the likes that they get. And I think that will paint the picture to have you understand that there's a culture. And Instagram and social media like that draws people into the Black culture that didn't know about it in the first place.
Absolutely.
All we want to do is just open the door. And the best way you can open the door is if you put it all together in one room. And when you open the door, I see it all instead. I open one door and I get just a little bit of it. Well, we can put it in one room and you open the door and you can get it. I want it to overwhelm you. You know, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want you to follow where it's just like when I watch Country Wayne stuff. I'm looking for the next.
Yeah.
I'm waiting on tomorrow. It's just like when we said we was young, we watched Dragon Ball Z.
Boy.
The next episode. Oh man, I'm at school counting down, looking at the clock, just making sure I can get home in enough time to get there.
Yeah.
I just want to overwhelm you to make you fall in love. And trust me, there's a lot to fall in love when people get a chance to see folks that look like us doing those things that they typically don't get to see where they're from. That's all I'm saying. And there's a way and a will to do it. We can yell all day about United States government underfunded us, right? We know that. I'm still waiting on my 40 acres and a mule. I'm obviously not going to get that. Scotty, you still waiting on yours?
Boy, still waiting on mine.
Still waiting on it. At some point, we realize we're not going to get that. But it ain't going to stop me. It's just like anybody living in the hood. You don't have to be a product of your environment. At some point, you can go to the library. There are things, all I'm saying is there are opportunities out there if you take it upon yourself. Sometimes you need a little nudge and you need somebody to pull that potential out you. But for the vast majority, you cannot just go around saying why you can't do something, because in life at some point you can do something. It's too many stories. It's too much success out here from people that come from backgrounds that did not have resources to where they say pull themselves by their bootstrap. We Black, and look how far we made it into this country. Imagine when somebody 100+ years ago mentioned the thought of starting an HBCU, talking about a college for Black folks. Do you know how crazy that would have sounded coming out of slavery, going into Reconstruction? How crazy that sounded? A school for Black folks? That'll never work. Who gonna pay for it? Who gonna teach them? What they gonna do when they get there? Who gonna feed them? You know what I mean? That sounded crazy. I'm sure when they presented that, how crazy that sounded in the late 1800s. And yet somebody went out there and they did it. And that's any idea. You're gonna get pushed back, but eventually, guess what? It started. And the culture built itself off of that to what we see today of the value.
Yeah.
So there was a value then, and it grew and it grew and it grew, and the value still remains. And people probably laughed and said it would never work in the late 1800s, and look where we are now in the 2000s. We just got to keep pushing. We just got to keep going and stop. And don't let nobody tell us what we can't do. Let's get together and say what we can do. I know the government don't expect them billions that you're looking for. Don't expect it no time soon. So in the meantime, let's get together collectively and figure it out.
Hey, Smash, coming to you.
Scotty, man, when I tell you this conversation has come full circle to me, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like just seeing the pitch of an 18 school network for sports, even if it's just football, it's easy to do. Man, I'm telling you, if you was to tell me to go reach out to 18 schools and tell each one of those schools, give me, I'm gonna say, be nice, $10,000 to $15,000. That's not a lot of money if you're not being cheap. You know what I'm saying? I can pay a representative to live stream all your home games, at least for shellfish, and give every school the autonomy and all rights to advertise whatever they want during the halftime, during the break. The touchdown could be whatever, and then make them $10,000 to $15,000 back in one game. This is ridiculous, bro. And not just me, all but just you two doing sports with you, Scotty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's easy. It's not hard to do. Like, let alone if we get more. Like, a little boy said, I don't want to pay $9 for an app if I can't watch all HBCU games. Well, if I'm rolling with the team that's rolling with the app, I'll pay it. You know what I'm saying? Just to support the schools that's doing it. And if somebody actually just go out on a limb and try to start something like this and show the schools that they actually can make the money back with the advertising dollar if they have the rights to, Scotty, any party I'm promoting for homecoming is going to be on the damn app. Going to be at the halftime show. The band alone can sell their halftime show on your game. Who about the band halftime show? Somebody on the business around here.
Yeah.
This halftime show is brought to you in part by What Is Po Boy. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pay you $10 for that one game. And it's sad that we so behind, bro. But this is not hard to do for anybody that want to start it. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah.
So that's all I want to say, Scotty. It's facts.
No, man, I appreciate the call, Smash. Thanks so much. Let me bring. I want to show everybody something, because I know a lot of you Bammers ain't like me and Dave, and you Bammers ain't bought no Flow Sports. All right, Flow Sports is not cheap. Let me see here. Let me see here. Let me try to get to. Where is it at? Let me see. Oh, I gotta put it over here. Let me see. I gotta go window. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring up this window with Flow Sports. Now, this is what Flow Sports looks like. All right, because I know, like I said, I know a lot of you Bammers ain't paying the $39.99 or $29.99 to be on some Flow Sports, but I do, right? Because I just like, if I want to catch an FCS game, I ain't got to worry about catching it when it's live or whatever. So this is how you do it. You can click on any team that they are in partnership with. This is a D2 team, Delta State, right? I can click on Delta State football. We all know Delta State, right? And I can.
If you don't know, you can get to know by clicking on it.
Thank you. And I can go watch every game of last year. That's how this works. Replays, right? They got the whole game right here. Click, watch it. That is what
I.
Yeah, in the beginning, yeah.
They made sure they put that right there.
right in the front, right? You got Hampton. All right. Whatever games Hampton was on last year. Boom. I can watch every single game. Watch the replay. Boom. Highlights. Got the highlights if you just want the highlight. Got the replay of the whole game if you want to watch that too. This is what I'm saying the SWAC app should look like. Now, I don't know how much Flow is paying CAA. I don't know. I do not know. Okay? I don't think it's what they're worth. I'm going to tell you that right now. But the product that they are putting out is A1. You can literally click on any of these teams and go watch all Savannah State right here. If you want to go watch Savannah State football, click on it. And go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go. What you want to see?
I was gonna say, go back to that overall of what you have of the breakdown of what this HBCU TV entails. That. So you and I had the conversation, right? And we know it take money to make money. Ain't nobody asking nobody to do nothing for free. Trust me. We know you got to start somewhere. There's a such thing called trust the process. Got to build the foundation, right?
Yeah.
Then from build the foundation, we build the floors and we move up. Some point we got to build a foundation. You and I had the conversation about how we invest back in ourselves if this is the case to even start it. Something we talked about was just to get it started, you take the fees from students. Students get charged fees. I mean, a lot of students get charged a computer lab fee and never step foot in a computer lab.
That's facts.
Right? They get charged a lot of type of fees and don't realize at the end of the day, they just want to make sure the fees are paid. If you really take that sheet, that billing statement and really break it down, a lot of times you'll have issues. Students will fool around and hold a whole whatever to let you, we're not paying these fees. But they don't. They just pay them. But the idea is that we came together collectively as the SWAC and the MEAC and said, you know what? Let's start with our students to invest in this. Right? Let's take a $50 fee, $100 fee from every student.
Every student.
Now we're working with something, right? $100 from every student. Let's say, I'm not sure how many students every school have, but let's just say the general from 2,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Times 100.
I'm gonna do 3,000. 3,000. Okay.
Because before we even work our way out to the public of the people that's watching, let's start right there with our students. That's the investment back, because guess what? Everything on your campus is being paid for from the student in the first place. Your salaries, everything. Facts. Their investment by what they pay is ultimately how the school functions and run, since we're not getting the other money that we're looking for. So we base it off what we're able to get out of tuition. We get that and we put that in a general pot. Now, when we start talking about getting students to work, and I know we had got pushed back about nobody wants to work for free. Well, they call it work study for a reason. Work study programs. I know at Southern, they have a program called service learning. Service learning is where you have to go volunteer for a semester, whether it's on campus or whether it's out in the community. And then when you volunteer, the class is basically you writing a paper or telling what are you doing when you're volunteering. You can go volunteer in the back and work in the dorm. You can go volunteer and do whatever. You can go to somebody's business and volunteer. The whole idea is you're going to get experience to figure out what happens at that business, and you write a report or you constantly do assignments about what it is. What things could you see better with that job? How do you like the management? It's a breakdown of what your experiences are. But at the end of the day, that's another group of kids you can push into this when you're talking about service learning. When you're talking about work study, where you can pay and also give that volunteer or community service hours to the people that need it. Divine and I need community service hours 24/7. They need 24/7 community service hours. That's volunteering. I'm not saying they're going to be up in a production booth, but there's always something that you can use or you can bring in people to be able to work with it. But I'm saying you start with the students. You start that pot. You build that pot. While that pot is building, once you get all that money there, then yes, you do get the right people that's in position. Because like anything, an idea starts in the head. Once it starts in the head, if you do it the right way, you write it down or you put it in your phone. Once you write it down or you put it in your phone, you share it with somebody. The good thing about sharing it with somebody, you're able to swap ideas. Somebody can bring something to you that you probably didn't factor into that.
Facts.
Now, once you do that, now you're able to grow it and grow it and grow it. And that's nothing more than what this is. And we can put this in a position and bring the people together. Hey, everybody keep asking who gonna do. You got Perry and Scotty right here. First of all, you got my man Scotty. Just look at what he's been able to do to create this space to bring people. This otherwise used to be barbershop talk. What we do here on this show. There was never a collective for me to see a program or a platform where we all, it don't matter what HBCU, where we all can come together and then have conversations amongst each other, where he narrated or moderated it, and then we came together. This within itself is a testament of considering where he came from to consider what it is today to say, hey, you have to work your things out to learn how to grow it.
Yeah. I want to say this, and I want to shout out to JB for sending me this article. This is what I'm saying. White people know the value of the workforce on their campus. You got this Bama talking like this. This is what this Bama said. He said, charge students. You're joking, Mr. Perry. Well, James Madison said, who's laughing now? Okay.
Have you never heard of a billing statement?
Dog, they charge
students
50. They got $53 million in student fees. And the kids voted on this. The students voted for the increase of those student fees. So
Scotty, can I throw something else at you?
Go ahead.
Nobody says nothing when we use these students' fees and we bring in all these big name artists for homecoming.
Come on.
And Spring Fest and all of that. And trust me, these artists ain't giving you no discount. Right? You want Young Jeezy, you want Lil Boosie, you want all these. Nobody, hey, it's about where you willing to put your money. You putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into artists coming into Spring Fest, right?
Ain't nothing for you.
And we ain't got no money. But we talking about charge the students, really, Perry? Yeah. You charge the students anyway. How you think they get paid for? I'm keeping it real.
Yeah.
We talk about, you got money when you want to fire the coaches and all, but hey, go look at a Spring Fest or a homecoming concert. From the comedy shows to the concerts themselves, and look at the names and the acts of the people that come there.
Now let's get back to this math, because I love some math, right? So now we got 300,000, we got 3,000, right? Times 100, right? That gives you 300,000. Now you times 300,000 by 12. We'll just take all 12 SWAC institutions. So mind you, this is a pot of money that each school's student fees is going into for said network. Times 12 gives you $3.6 million. And you have now just funded your app, your maintenance, your cost of said maintenance, and now you're pulling together your resources to make something happen on behalf of all your institutions. So let's just say, okay, the SWAC doesn't want to partner with everybody. The SWAC says, you know what? I want to do my own SWAC Plus app, right? Like Flow Sports. Well, you go to all 12 institutions and say, hey, let's charge $150 for student fees on this. And it goes into a pot of money for the SWAC. And from that, we will be able to fund said project or said this, because it can be a 2-year, 3-year project, right? To where you're saving up the money so that you can have the capital to do what you need to do.
While you planning the structure. And I see somebody say some states require approval. That's fine. That ain't never stopped us from raising the fees in the first place or to anything. We can get around it if we need to. We'll figure things out. We've always figured things out, haven't we? That's been the story of the black person, of the African American in this country. We can figure it out. How many of y'all would just eat chitlins if you? The fact that we made chitlins a delicacy, just take that in consideration. We made
crazy.
something out of nothing.
Look at this, P. James Madison mandatory student fee is $5,662. We talking about $150. These ninjas up there charging them Bamas 5 G's.
And students paying athletic fees. Do you see them packing into a basketball game? Do you see them, even at a football game, do you see them packing into a football game?
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm just asking questions since it's such a problem talking about charging students when we do it anyway. Tuition is consistently wrong. I can remember people would tell you when I went to school, it was $1,000. Now it's $15,000. Yeah, it goes up. Charge the students. That's right. That's the investment.
That's crazy.
We just choose when we want to say, we choose when we want to make it seem like it's a bigger than life problem.
$2K for intercollegiate athletics.
And think about it. You go to LSU, you got to be in a lottery to get that ticket to that big game.
Woo!
Right? I don't give a damn how big the student, everybody not going to get in this game. There's a lottery. So imagine if Southern and Jackson played and Southern told the students, hey, we're going to have a lottery. Everybody, we can't allow all the students to come in. We're going to sell them other seats. There's going to be a slot only for 1,500 students.
Look. He says it's James Madison private. And read that headline for me.
They don't sound like a public institution.
But read the headline on the Sportico.
Oh, James Madison record $53 million in student fees, tops all public schools.
But is it private though? Oh, okay. All right.
It's just conversation, man. It's just people having conversations in the chat. That could be to somebody that would probably wouldn't. Them chats hard to keep up with that conversation there because it's like subtweeting. You don't know who that's aimed at.
Yeah. Let me see how much they charging these Bamas. Here we go. It says JMU undergraduate tuition is $30,000 for out of state and wow, $13,000 per year for in-state. That's not bad. The mandatory student fee, which includes in totals $5,662 for 2024. The fee covers a number of things: transportation, student health, faculty maintenance. But my biggest far is the $2,336 student per year is earmarked for athletic funding. So essentially, you could, let's say, because you're never going to, I don't believe you'll ever get to I won't say never. I don't believe you can start out with $1,000 at an HBCU. It ain't going to happen. But if you do $250, $300, $150, that stuff adds up, and over time, it will make up most of the cost in building your own app for your, and literally, you can use it, the school, right? How you can really finagle it, and Dave, help me out with this, is that the school can call it a maintenance fee for their app. Because technically what you're doing is giving your content to the app. You get what I'm saying? So it's literally, okay, stay with me, right? If the conference is the overseer of the app, let's just hypothetically say the conference is the overseer of this app, right? And they split the cost between 12 schools. Well, now that 150 that you've been raising or whatever, you call it for that institution. You say other fees or athletic technology fee. You get what I'm saying?
Miscellaneous fees,
whatever, right? And then you funnel it back into the SWAC so they can manage the app. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't even have to be something to where you have to put it in a pool of money to make sure. No, you just get it and you funnel it back into the SWAC conference, and bam, there you go.
And you draw up the guidelines and the policies and what this thing, the structure of it, because you're gonna need a structure. That way, no matter what president, what commissioner, who comes and goes, there's a structure. It's not just off the hip. There's a structure. No matter what SID, what students are working on it. There's a structure. It's just like when you go work at McDonald's, you can't go in McDonald's bringing in Burger King ideas, right?
Yeah.
McDonald's has a structure to when you come there, we do it the McDonald's way.
Yeah.
And it's from top to bottom. And I don't care what experience you had in nobody else's fast food. You could have been at Burger King for 25 years. They're going to tell you this is the McDonald's way. We don't care how they did it at Burger King. But there's a structure. And they make sure you follow that structure to a T Well, at least we hope in some of them. But they follow it to let you know this is the McDonald's way. This is who we are.
Let me take this caller. 7431 coming to you.
Yo, Scott, here's Bridges.
What's up, Bridges?
What's up? What's up? Man, just off of that, man, like Harry with the learning services. I did that when I was in college. I did that at Benedict. And literally, like, these things, like, as far as young people, we are taught, but we are never given the opportunity to do these things. That is probably the main thing about it. Like, a lot of young people want to do stuff for the school. A lot of young people want to go do 100% for the school, make a page, be on this, be on that, but they're not given the opportunity to do it. And there's never opportunity to be presented. So, and that's the case, then we're behind the 8 ball as far as, the PWI, because they giving all the opportunity in the world.
But they don't want you to ever compare that. Don't bring up no PWI. Don't bring that PWI up. It's apples to oranges.
Hey,
I understand that, but
no, Bridges. What he's saying is, I'm sorry, Bridges. What he's saying is that a lot of people say that. No, he's being sarcastic. Yeah, he's with you. He said a lot of people say that. Don't compare PWIs to HBCUs, but yeah, but they doing it. It's working. But go ahead.
Yeah, and Scotty, just to offer your idea, bro. Fam already got an app. Fam already doing stuff. I mean, they may be behind the 8 ball a little bit, but at least they're making progress of somewhat of doing it.
Yeah.
That's my whole thing. They have students that you see regular, interviewing football players, interviewing coaches, interviewing volleyball players, doing this, doing that. You see Josh doing a whole bunch of stuff that he can do. So, like, if one school can do it or do somewhat of it, why can't these other schools hop on the bandwagon or ask for advice or like, hey, how did y'all do this? Or, hey, how did y'all do that? Or, like, why haven't other schools hopped on the bandwagon? Why haven't other schools asked these questions so we can, have this app or each school have their own individual stuff? So, like, that's another thing, too.
And I will also add in, we have mass comm departments. Like I said on the last show, there are grants out there. Let's not just act like we just oh my God, there are resources. I'm not saying there's just unlimited resources for us, but there are grants. Prairie View just redid their entire mass comm studio. Has anybody seen that? I'm sure you can look it up and just look up Prairie View's mass communication studio. They've done shows and all this. There are grants, there are things. These are the investments, and trust me, just like anything, when the world changes, that means degrees change. That means where people are going to get jobs now. Technology, all of a sudden, what it used to take 1,000 people to build a car, probably takes 10 people now. But those 10 people had to go learn how to work in some form of technology job to know how to work that computer that's now building that car. If we see this age of digital media becoming a new space, so we look at it and say, how do we get in it so we can start preparing Black students, African-American students for this new space that is going to take over? Because getting them traditionally ready for cable television is starting to become something of the past. We want to be on the forefront of now making sure we're sending our students out there to be the best and the brightest of whatever the new age world is turning into. And that's why you always have to look 5 and 10 years down the line to figure out how's the world evolving and what do we have here on this campus if the world is evolving that our students in terms of degrees, remember, degrees are going to go towards. And if students can go towards degrees that are changing with the world and we're preparing them, that's where you should start. And this is one of the areas that we should start.
I got a couple pictures here.
And
I think nice.
And Scotty, this is my last question. This is for me too, because like we all YouTubers. What can we do to like help get in this entertainment business. Like, what can we do? What can we lend to these people so they will know, like, the knowledge, they will understand things. Like, what are the steps? Because, like, low key is it's really not a manual, and I know all of us are kind of flying off the cuff. So, like, I don't know if you can answer that or not, but it's just this question up in my head.
I think it depends on what type of business, because this YouTube is an entrepreneurship business, right? Like, this isn't a, you get a job. Now there might be like Blue works for On3, they are a YouTube channel, right? So you have to go to like a Locked On Sports or a podcast entity that has multiple things, like you see like Locked On Texas, Locked On Alabama, Locked On Auburn, like all that type of stuff. You can get involved in those and they'll pay you like that. But YouTube it's a more of an entrepreneur space to really be in. For me, it's like, if this is something you want to do for a hobby, to practice your stuff, absolutely. But mostly I would say, unless you're really willing to put in the time, like, YouTube is a very, very finicky space to try to put all your marbles all in. I would always tell people to do YouTube as a side job until it became profitable for them to be on YouTube. So to me, it's like, your best bet is to be a part of an SEC network, be a part of an ESPN, be a part of a Fox Sports, be a part of a journalism, Dallas Morning News or the Tennessee Inquirer, whatever broadcasting platforms there are. Get in a radio station, right? Like, be a part of those type of entities. Get in part of an iHeart, like, in their podcasting department. Be a part of Spotify. Like, those are some of the entities you want to get into. And then on the side, if you're looking to become a podcast host or whatever, start your own and grow it organically. So now you have value and can show somebody, hey, listen, I got a little fan base, I got a little something. Let me get on iHeart, let me get on Spotify, right? So all those type of things.
Sure. All right, man. Thank you for the conversation. Love it, man. And y'all keep it up, man.
Always, B. Appreciate you. It says Jay's Master is required by state law to limit its student fees to a specific percentage of athletics funding. That limit was 70% in its previous conference. Now it's 55% as a member of the Sun Belt. All right, you will.
And I ask people in the chat, from your HBCU, tell me the name of your HBCU, and does your HBCU have a radio station or a television station on the campus? I know when I was at UAPB, they had KUAP. I believe that's what it was, KUAP. They played jazz, and then you heard programming throughout the day. But the main things, it was like jazz music, right? To try to be balanced, but throughout the day you had programming. Then on the regional television, they had UAPB TV. At one time, you can watch UAPB games. You can be anywhere within the region and see what's going on for programming at the school. So most of our schools have television. Most of our schools have radio.
Yeah. Alcorn has a radio, but no TV. PV has both. A&T has radio. FAMU has both. PV has both. You know what I'm saying? Like you said,
we got stuff out here.
Yeah. Now, no, you know what would be dope? And I was just, Perry, it's funny you brought that up. I was just thinking about this. I was in the room and I was like, yo, I would love to have an Offscript radio, right? Like morning radio. Imagine if you built your own, like you built a SWAC online radio, right? Like you could go on SWAC, you could go on a program, and then let's say 10 to 11 is PV radio. 11 to noon is Bethune-Cookman radio. 1 to 2 is FAMU radio.
Because Sirius XM had an HBCU station.
It does, and it's
because they don't have the constant content that needs to follow. I mean,
and
that's
a live. It's not live. It's nothing's live. It's all recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all recorded, and then they play it, so you don't get that interaction that most live radio shows. You want to have the live interaction instead of like the Ricky Smiley show on the weekend when they just record it and replay it. You know what I'm saying? Like that live interaction is what does it for people, so they can call in and have that. You know what I'm saying? That time or whatever. And like Mosley said, like just like ESPN radio, right? Like 12 to 2 is this, 2 to 4 is this, 4 to 6 is this. You know what I'm saying? Like have those. You could have a SWAC East time frame where it's a radio station giving you 2 or 3 hours of SWAC East content, right? And it's then from 4 to 6 is SWAC West content.
Got the Jaguar Journal. You know, just well, you get an opportunity to hear about that school, somebody who covers that school, somebody, you know, give you an in-depth, because, you know, one of the things I saw that was a pushback from Paul Feinbaum that I see. Now, I still like the show regardless.
Yeah.
But one of the pushbacks was people said it's kind of tough listening to national media trying to tell you about your specific team when they're not there looking and getting to know the team like that person who's going to be there.
Yeah.
That's the toughest thing about sometimes listening to national media, because they only going by the headlines, right? But when you have that person like a Perry White who's in Baton Rouge right there on the campus of Southern University, you know, who can go talk to a coach, who talks to a coach on his show, then come to this show and then tell you, this is what I talked to because I had an opportunity to talk to the coach personally. I'm giving you a more one-on-one to the national audience from my region. I can see that's what we're looking at. That's what we would need, because you got From the Hill with Alabama A&M.
Yeah. And then to me, this is how you become I'll say the little brother of the SEC. The only reason the SEC does the way it does is because it has so many outlets of information to get out, right? So if you have multiple people giving you all these outlets of information, then you can have the major programming like the Offscripts, like the SWAC and the Fools, like the Jaguar Journal. You can have them. Now they can give you even more information because there's more information coming to us. So now I can tell you about what it is or what's going on or this, and I can break down the spring game because I done watched it, right? Like I don't have to call and ask somebody who saw the game, hey, give me your opinions on what you saw. Then I got to repeat, hey, word on the street is this, blah, blah, blah. It's more, when you have more information, there's more that can be disseminated. That's how you can get the 24/7 football. That's why football in the SEC is all year round, because it's so much information getting pushed out that you got it to talk about. That's the
how do we utilize what we have? You know, how do we take advantage of it? And then it's hard because, like for me, you know, we had this conversation. I still be finding people in this HBCU space that I had never heard of, but you know, it's just so happened if I run across them, just like it's a lot of people with me in the HBCU space didn't know I existed, you know, because if you don't necessarily run across me or within that algorithm, how hard is it for you? More so, we put it all together, then you can find all of us.
Absolutely.
That Alabama A&M game day show that they was doing, like
that was nice. That was nice.
You know how hard it is to find that though on YouTube? Like if I just wanted to go find it, it's kind of hard. And it's hard maneuvering spaces sometimes. Because if you don't catch it that one time, it's hard to go back and find, like, damn, I saw that, but I don't know where I saw it at.
Yeah.
And that's just saying YouTube. The same thing happens when I'm on social media. If I don't capture whatever that one thing I was looking at, I try to go back, man, that thing that jumped up, flipped up, I'll never be able to find it and get back on it. So that's what we got to do. That's what helps everybody. You can find, you can market, you can brand. We bring it together. It makes it just easier for people to realize what it is that you're doing.
Absolutely. KP, coming to you, KP.
Why? What's up, fellas? What's going on with it, baby?
What's up, man? I know it's football season when you call in.
Man, look, man, you know I'm calling in till we kick it off, baby. But I'm gonna call in because it's a good topic, man. Just wanna give my little 1.5 cent real quick, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Look, man. So I was listening to the whole app deal and realizing, man, most people on the go. We're not in front of a TV like in the 90s like we are. So I would rather pull my app up and I can watch the game wherever I'm at. I'm not always home. Most people are not always at the house to watch and be in front of their TV. So I think that'll be a good selling point for all the universities to get on, because your average fan that's under 35, 30, they not in front of no TV. We ain't sitting like in front of on the sofa like it's 1998 or whatever. Then, as you raise your money, like you said, with the students, the initial cost of getting the app built, that's probably going to be your highest cost.
Facts.
After you get the plane built, all we doing is maintaining. We on cruise control. So I'm just paying for maintenance and keeping it running. So every year, the cost should not be the same as it was the first year. So that money that you getting from the students, from the fees, go into another little surplus bucket. You can start dispersing out to sponsors and marketers, people who want to market. You can sell market space. So you can always generate ad avenue for your app to keep your app going. And then also, last thing I was gonna say, man, you can find a number of subscriptions. Of like, okay, we need to hit 200 to maintain this app. We need to have 200 subscribers or 200,000 subscribers to maintain this app. It's gonna put us at a minimum to keep this app going for everyone. If we get over this number, that's even better. We in the green, we in the black, we in the red. So that's all I want to say. This app is real needed, man, because people are not going to the TV every night. I know me. I'm always on the road or in an airport. So I need to pull up the game if I want to see the game. If I want to see an old game. Even if I'm a student, I'm at work. I miss the Greek show. I miss whatever. I want to come home and be able to watch that. Have the opportunity to watch that. So I think this app would be a good idea if they know how to do what they need to do with it. That's all I got to say, man.
Hey, man, appreciate that, KP. And let me go even further because I agree with KP. Listen, YouTube TV, when I be at my kids' events.
Hey, Scotty, how you think folks at work watching this right now? Folks have that volume on low with that little earpiece in. Somebody come out, they like, what you say?
Yeah.
Offscript.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
To go back, and I want your point, because you talked to me about this point over the weekend when you and I talked. He said about keeping a certain number of subscribers. And it goes back to what I said, let's put the fees on the students to begin with as we build this up, because guess what? It's the students creating the culture. They're the ones playing football. They're the ones in the band. They're the ones giving you the Greek culture and the life and everything in it. So it's them that is giving us the culture. That's their investment to show you what it is that they're doing.
Yeah.
So as we do that, right, freshman to senior, that's in your student fees. You automatically have access to this app the same way you got access to everything on campus. Going in the cab. How many of y'all know when you don't pay that fee and you try to go in the cab and swipe that card?
You do?
Nope. Then, hey, man, can I borrow? Can I get? So when you get the access to it, and you made up a brilliant point, that it's going to continue to grow, because guess what? Every year is a new class.
It's a new class. And every year is a new class. So your subscription model never goes down because you're just bringing in the same class. So it's literally it's a cycle, right? It's literally a cycle of just you're keeping. And now that these kids have done it for 4 years, maybe they continue on when they get out of school. Maybe they don't, right? But you have a continual transfers come in, transfers leave, or whatever. You have a continual base of students and subscribers that are automatically. So off the rip, you have capital, because you can show and prove to anybody that's willing to invest in the app. Listen, we are guaranteed 3,000 times 12. What's that? 36,000 students or whatever, 36,000 students or whatever, right? So we're guaranteed 36,000 subscribers. Year 1. Year 2, when those kids become freshmen or sophomores or seniors or whatever, we got a whole new class, right? So you're just continuing to grow. And as these schools grow and their enrollment goes up, so does the app.
And trust me, students are your biggest marketers. When they looking at something, they friends don't know what you looking at. Hey, well, how can I watch it?
Yeah.
When family, hey, I want y'all to see me on here because I'm gonna be on there this week at 4:00 on this specific show.
Yeah.
So
to me, it's too many ideas and too many ways that we can get around the naysayers that to make it work. But I'll say this, and KP said it. There is nothing, and I know everybody who's a true football fan is going to feel what I'm saying. There is no better time when your team is playing and your team is won, and you got to go watch another team to make sure they lose, to be able to go to that game and watch that game to make sure that they lose so your situation is better, is all that it's about. So when you're able to easily navigate to that game, right? Or you missed your game, or somebody tells you, hey man, did you see that last play? You know, man, that kid took that pick to the house, and you like, no, I didn't see it, man. Go on the app, man, check it out. That's what it's all about, is the ease of access to get to what you need to see it, right?
And that would have been perfect in football season. Alcorn State beat Jackson State, then we're going to go over and see what Prairie View and Alabama State looking like.
Go right over to it.
Because I need Alabama State to beat Prairie View if we're going to get to the championship.
That's what you're looking for. Remember the year with Southern backdoor their way, and everybody was...
Come on, just say the memory year Southern went. I swear, I went right over it. While that weekend was going on, Scotty, I was trying to find how to watch Mississippi Valley and Prairie View, and I damn sure was trying to watch Texas Southern and Alabama A&M. No lie, I'm all over YouTube trying to find who's streaming. How can I get hold to listen or watch that game, bro?
That's what I'm saying. That's how, you know what I'm saying? That's how it works, because you're just like, oh, we won? Oh, shit, let me go. Because if anybody NFL playing, that's exactly what we do. I might never watch the Carolina Panthers, but if I need them to beat the Eagles that weekend, I'm locked in. I'm like, hey, listen, I need y'all to win this weekend.
And listen, black folks love nothing more than being at an HBCU football game and they give you scores around the SWAC. And you hear Mississippi Valley 17, Alcorn 6. Everybody like, whoa. Everybody trying to hurry up and go on the phone. What the hell happening in Itabena today? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Ooh, we love hearing that. We love hearing them scores from around the SWAC. So you hear that and you get instantly on the app. Look, what the hell is going on over there?
Yeah, yeah. And then man, you got me. Now you can have a red zone pop-up for HBCU for the SWAC Plus when a team's in the red zone, right? So the team about to score, and you can go to. All right, I'm doing too much. But anyway,
let that Easter spirit use you, brother. Resurrection. Come on, get it up out you. Now is the time, brother.
Man, I get.
But I mean, my thing is that we could just sit here, and I know people say y'all just talking, but this is how ideas start. Anything in the world starts with a conversation. It just starts with a conversation. And you have that conversation, then you figure out. You work the kinks out. You figure it out. Then what we don't know, we go figure it out, and we ask somebody who do know. Then we bring it together. We try to make it full circle. Then we figure out what can we do instead of keep saying what we can't do. Absolutely. What can we do to at least get it going? This ain't nothing but conversation.
Yeah.
And if Perry and Scotty can sit on here on this broadcast and have a conversation, I suspect a lot of you guys have conversations. And thankfully for us, we're able to be on a platform for people to watch. How many great conversations been out there and nobody never heard it? Great ideas, great thoughts.
Stay right in your local barbershop.
Right in your local barbershop. Never made it out of it, right? And trust me, we know barbershop talk. It just start with the LeBron versus Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be a for, it's going to be an against. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, it's the conversation that's being had and it's substance within the conversation. Focus on the substance and then let's build from the substance. That's all I always say, because where there's a will, there's a way. If that was the case, we never was supposed to make it in life, period, anyway, as black folks. But we've been taught to work 10 times, 20 times as hard to get what we need. So this ain't hard to me if that's what I've been trained to do. To think that to see this as a reality, it's not far-fetched. Maybe if I was white, yeah, that's too much work. You know, we don't have to work that hard. But I'm a black man. Every day. Every day somebody judges me just off of dreads alone.
Yeah.
Dreads alone is why folks say, Perry, this is why you can't get here. This is why you can't get there. I'm being judged. That it ain't about what I can come on here and spit game and break down the game. I talk the stats. I can tell you anything you want to know about the game, but you skipped all that, right? You just can't get past this.
Yeah.
This just, when you do the good and the bad, it's just like, damn, is this. I'm just using it because us as black folks, we know how hard we got to work. So why does a little hard work gonna stop us? It ain't never stopped us.
Yeah.
Like I said it once again, Thanksgiving. We turned chitlins into something somebody still to this day looking to eat for Thanksgiving. That was the slops. That was just what we had to deal with. And we made that into something that was worth eating to people still eating it to this day. We made a slop into a delicacy. So we can do that. We can do anything. Because I damn show you some chitlins. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
We turned chitlins into, let that resonate for the folks out there. Let that sit in on y'all for a second. If you chitlins to a delicacy. And we know what it is to this day. And we got a lot more options to eat, but still, people still go get that red bucket for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. I don't eat them, okay? But I got family members that do and swear by them. You got any family members eat chitlins?
Too many. Too many. Oh, all you gotta do is put some hot sauce on them things.
That's it. And they still eat them. We don't even gotta eat it no more. We don't even gotta eat that. That's the bottom of the. But look, if we can do that, brother, look, we can do anything. And that's why we black folks, we can do anything. Ain't nothing ever stopped us. We've had more hurdles than anything in this country. What has ever stopped us?
Yeah.
Did a water hose and some dogs stop us? Did our ancestors get lynched and whatever, all of the horrific things of slavery stop us? Did the white folks, when they said we couldn't go get an education, did it stop us? I just want to know. When the old folks said we had to walk 30 miles to go to school, did it stop them? We didn't got too lax. We didn't got too comfortable about ourselves. I think that's the thing about us. We didn't got too lax. We think we didn't made it. We think we didn't come and this is where we at. Pause. But at the end of the day, there's still so much more to go. I said pause, bro. It's still so far. Look, and I'm not saying this is an overnight thing. It does not have to happen right now overnight. But at the end of the day, as we continue to move forward, at one time, a lot of you schools before there was the ESPN was trying to show you. I remember UAPB back in the day, and I tell you, this in the early 2000s, they had a guy by the name of Maurice Ficklin. This dude was beyond his time, Scotty.
Mm-hmm.
I remember him because even when as a young kid, I paid attention to this work. A lot of people probably didn't. Maurice Ficklin, when he got to UAPB, he had UAPB next level when it came to broadcasting. And we're talking in the early 2000s. UAPB could broadcast their games anywhere that they went, whether it was on the road or at home. They had technology at that time that nobody else had. The problem was the people around UAPB didn't have Maurice Ficklin's thinking, and they ultimately ran him off. Now, it could have been more to the story. I was a young person at that time, but I just remember the ideas of what he brought to technology to that school was 20 years ahead of his time. 20 years ahead of his time.
Yeah.
I just think of what happened if we would have kept him here and would have been like 20 years later. But that's just the idea that we have always tried to do something. Let's stop making excuses and let's do it. Let's put our money where our mouth is. Let's put our time and effort. It ain't always about sending your money to the school. A lot of times it's just about what you have in terms of a value that could help the school. I have a voice. I make sure I come on here on my radio show. I may not be cutting Southern a big check, right?
Yeah.
Southern may give me a press pass to go in the game and I'm not buying season tickets like everybody else. But you better believe the value that I give, I'm going to go out there and record the band. I'm going to go on the radio. I'm going to talk about the sports. I'm going to go out there and record something and put it on social media. Everything I do is to give back with a market value that I think goes far beyond and always just writing the check. And I do my part in order to give a market value and to give my services back to my school, which is Southern.
Yeah.
And I think we all have an ability to do that. And it comes and it looks different for whoever. There's many different ways. If it's something, if you're a great cook and you just cooking for some kids, that's a service. Because let me tell you, kids in college be hungry as hell.
Yeah.
Them ramen noodle nights.
Hey, they hit. They hit.
When you're ramming through shit and you don't got nothing but, and then it's the worst, it probably the beef or the shrimp. I like the chicken.
I like Oriental. I like the Oriental. I mean, everybody loves chicken, but I like creamy chicken. No diddy. I like creamy chicken, and I like Oriental. Those are my favorites.
But it's the worst when you get to the end of the pack of the shit you don't like.
That beef, yeah, I ain't a fan of that beef.
Hot sauce, that's when you become a chef. You just find whatever, cheese, hot sauce, whatever.
Hey, last day before we gotta get up out here, I gotta pick up my kids. But my dad been locked up for a long time, right? So when he got out, I think like another year I came down. He like, you got your Roman noodles. I'm gonna give you the jailhouse style. You know, get a little green pepper. You know what I'm saying? Get you some hot dogs, chop your hot dogs up, chop your onions up, put it all together. I was like, what is going on here?
Black folks, baby, we've been making the best out of nothing for far too long. Why should we stop now?
Woo, man.
Why should we stop now? We are great at who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
We have invented a lot of things. Let's not forget that.
Too much.
Unfortunately, we don't like to teach our young generation as much. We just like to put an iPad and let them teach themselves, a phone and let them teach themselves, and kind of go away. And I think the biggest travesty and the real thing, let's look at our communities. How many kids out there, I know I'm kind of switching, but just aren't reading at the grade level that they should be?
That's tough. That's tough. But I gotta get up out of here, man. I gotta pick up these kids. Hey, Perry, always a pleasure, man. When you jumping
man,
on.
thank you for having me on, man. I just wanted to come on and have this conversation.
Always appreciate it. Hey, listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for sticking with us and hanging with us for the time. I gotta be a parent, man. I gotta go pick up my kids. Listen, no outspoken today. Make sure you guys tune in to the USC and UConn watch party going down tonight. Okay, Juju Page is going down. Listen, until next time, you know what I'm gonna do. I'm a holler. God bless.